Hey, welcome back to the Metropol Grid. My name is Andre. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. How's it going? It is December the 9th. It's Thursday night. Ooh, look who fell asleep with one hair on the couch. So that's gonna be something we live with. Hopefully you're doing well. I have to apologize again. I feel like we did another carpet pull, a rug pull again. Pat's not here. Look, he told me this would happen so that I could go out and tell you that it would happen. And then he messages me like, you know, a minute before the stream's going to start, 8:44. He's like, hey man, I can't make it. Something's come up that's just more important than you. And then all the people, all the people who are excited to see me. So it's really frustrating, you know, because we want him to be here because we said he would. Maybe next week. Who knows? Maybe someone can wrangle him, you know? Wait, whoa, how's it going? How you doing? Ixran, I was like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. It is, wow. I don't think there's a lot of people playing on JNet right now. I think it's, you know, that time. The between time after Worlds where, you know, unless Nisei makes medium legal, some people just don't have time. There's like people are busy. We didn't like Pat anyways or something. I don't know. Yeah, he's at he started a new job recently and they have their Christmas party tonight. And he was like pretty convinced. He's like, I'll duck out at 8. It'll be fine. And then he messaged me later, be like, actually, maybe that's probably rude. I'm new. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's your Christmas party. Just enjoy it. It's fine. We'll do next week. So no hard feelings to Pat, unless you want to, which is fine. It's fine if you want to, if it's respectable. Otherwise, today, how's my week been? It's been fine. I'm really tired. I did not sleep a lot last night. So it's a bit goofy. I got some tea with some caffeine in it. So hopefully we'll be back on track soon. We also had leftover lasagna, so like huge combination for effective brain power at this hour. But hopefully you're doing well. We're gonna start with some Big MaxX. That's the deck list of the week. This is the one we actually talked about specifically last week because Sanjay wrote this fantastic timeline, and it looks like at some point I was attributed to founding the Big MaxX and then winning Worlds in 2021. So like, yeah, I'll take it. That's cool. It's cool. Like he did the research and it comes up that it starts with me and it ends with me too. So like everyone in the middle wrote him like good work, but come on, like give credit where credit's due. Pat is wasted, isn't he? There's a chance. Actually, yeah, no, Pat doesn't really drink. So it's very unlikely unless he's like wasted off of hors d'oeuvres. I hope he has a good time. Christmas parties are weird because like I think this is one of the years where people are finally doing it. And then they're going from like, you know, a lot of people not being at the office to suddenly bringing everyone together in one area, which, you know, for some people doesn't sit right, but we'll get there. Yeah, Andre, leftover lasagna is the best lasagna. It really is. It is really quite good. So we found out this life hack. Yo, Norbert, how's it going? AO Metropol. President's Choice, which is like the best food brand in Canada, makes this like vegetarian lasagna. And it's, I don't know, it feels like 6 pounds or 12 pounds or something. 6 pounds maybe. 12 pounds seems like a lot. And it's frozen. It's pretty good. It's like $12. And like that's 2 meals. It's not bad. It was an accidental discovery. Now it's kind of been a crutch when it comes to grocery shopping. But we don't regret it. Not yet, at least. President's Choice is still the way. Okay. So this is the list that Sanjay was playing that we saw on stream. And it's very simple, similar to some of the other lists we saw. I think there's a bit of differences between the lists I think Jonas was running. I think Jonas was on 70 cards, and it was slightly different. Janktivist as well. I'm not sure Janktivist was on Aeneas, excuse me. Is that the kind where there's spinach in the pasta? Yes, there's a lot of spinach. When it says a vegetable lasagna, it's like not very obvious what's in it. There's like a bit of corn, which is a bit of a question mark, carrots, a lot of spinach, and then some mushrooms, which are upsetting to some, but it's actually really quite good. It is one of those things too where it's like very soupy sometimes if you like don't let it stand, which I think is just a lasagna problem, but I didn't feel like that was ever a big detractor. So we have 3 Aeneas informants. This is the simple, easy to play, 1 influence, 0 cost connection. It basically says when you access a card and don't trash it, gain a credit. that can be a really big deal. Like if you're running centrals and not trashing things and you have 3 of these up, you gain 3 credits. If you're checking remote servers and not trashing them, that's 3 credits. But this works on top of all the other things that they have put together. We have Maw, which fires if you don't trash something. So you get 3 credits Maw fire. You know, this is best case scenario, mind you, because we are Max and Max will start milling things off the top of her deck. And so you're not likely to get all these pieces, but we've tuned into some of the games during Worlds where this actually did show up. And then the last piece on top of it is Salsa Slums, which works really well against controlling the message, which was popular and very popular. In fact, it was the most popular corp at Worlds this year. And it says you're not trashing cards, you're actually removing them from the game. So it means Aeneas Informant fires and Maw fires. So this is an engine that goes all together. Fortunately, Twitch is dying right now because the TGA stream is lagging and you're not the only one. Really? Ragatha. Okay, we'll see you on YouTube. Yeah, it is the Video Game Awards, the Jeff Keighley Oscars, or whatever they actually call it. I don't know about you. I've never been big into the Video Game Awards, but I imagine there's a lot of people watching right now. So maybe Twitch is groaning under the load, or straining, excuse me. Yeah, I guess that's on. I don't know how much longer it's on for. It's probably on for another couple hours. I think it's the West Coast. Doomster, hey Andre, taught my last Thursday night class for the semester. Ready to catch live streams consistently again. Yo, Doomster, firstly, congrats to make it to the end of the semester. Hope it was a good one. I think we're gonna have a stream next week, hopefully with Pat, but we're gonna miss, I think, the stream the week after that because it's gonna be the, at least for me, we observe Christmas holiday, so I will not be here. So we're gonna miss a week after that, but then we'll be back and we'll do a stream on the Thursday. I think it's, wait, actually, what is the last Thursday of this month? Is it like New Year's? When's New Year's? No, it's the 30th. We'll be fine. Yeah, we'll stream on the 30th for sure. And maybe we'll do a catch-up stream at some point on a weekend or something because I'll be on holidays as well. Yeah, this is a slum list. Yeah, of course. Perfect timing. Yeah, this is the slums list. Otherwise, what's going on into here, there's a lot of just like good stuff. And that's kind of the idea with Big Max is that if you just put a nice enough ratio between like multi-access, pressure, economy, breakers, you just draw into the things you need. Of course, there are some very important cards. You have 3 labor rights, which are very important when you get to your bottom of your deck. You almost never see this art if you're playing on JNet. Then you have, you do have, we don't have Mad Dash. Oh, that's weird. Maybe that's the 70th card. No Mad Dash in this list is actually pretty surprising. There's very few lists at the top 16 of Worlds that did not have Mad Dash. I think it was only 1 or 2, and this might be one of them. Maybe that's the 70th card that Jonas is running. Otherwise, we have 3 of every breakers. We actually have a fair bit of card draw, whether it is I've Had Worse or moshing. That'll get you where you need to. Of course, your max as well. And 3 Wanton Destructions, I think, is something uniquely that Sanjay was playing. And Sanjay's been a big fan of Wanton forever, and I think it's really, really quite good. Most anticipated game will be an interesting award. That's a reward? Most anticipated game? Oh, man. I really don't... Never mind. I shouldn't say it. Thoughts between Horizon Forbidden West, the new God of War, and Elden Ring. Elden Ring looks sick. In terms of like games upcoming that I'm excited for, Elden Ring. But I'm a big Souls fan, so I'm really excited for that for sure. I have Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation. I know it's on PC now, but I haven't played it yet. And to me, it feels like this insurmountable, like, it's like when someone recommends you a Netflix series and it's like 8 seasons or something ridiculous. And then you just kind of avoid starting it because you're aware if you do it and you like it, you're going to lose a lot of your life. And that's always what it's felt like when it comes to open world games to me. And maybe it's just, I need to do a better job in not experiencing all the content. Like maybe I'll just, mainline the story. But like it's been there. I also have God of War, which I haven't played yet. And I know that's a mistake. I know that's also coming out on PC, I think next year. Commercially motivated award shows are pretty lame, IMO. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Celestial Spark, I was hoped to see Homeworld 3. That was a nice surprise. I don't know what Homeworld is. For a second, I thought it was Mother, like Mother 3. That's not right. That's not a real thing, is it? Right in most anticipated, Borealis. YouTube is a much better way to be Andre. Yay, cheers. Yeah, hopefully YouTube is actually a bit better. Yeah, Tobal, there's no Pat today, unfortunately. He had to reschedule at the last minute. He's at his new job. He started a new job just late this year, and they have their holiday party, so he should be around next week. Does Big Max often get to the bottom of their deck? Solomir, I think usually they do, actually. Yeah, they will bottom out. You're not the most aggressive deck. This one does have Stargates, but some of the other lists we've seen were only running a single Stargate and a single Turning Wheel. This is 2 and 2. So there's it depends on the deck, right? Like if you're playing against Precision Design, my guess is not. But if you're playing against like, Acme, Glacier, stuff like that, like some of the slower decks, you probably do bottom out. And at that point, you're playing basically the labor rights game. But yeah, I think you do bottom out in a bunch of them. Pick one, how's it going? It looks like you agree. Richard, Boreal Cycle, most anticipated game. Yo, man, were you here for this? It feels shitty to like feel maybe upset about this, but Nisei put out like a tweet like last week, I think. Was it last week or was it even this week? I don't know. But Nisei tweeted out this cube. They're like, oh, cube with a question mark. The Riddler's been here. And then people were like, oh, is this spoilers? Is this scoops? Is this scoops? Because everyone obviously wants scoops, myself is included. And then they just announced it's a tournament and a format. That's happening relatively soon. The tournament's on the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, which is cool. And we'll talk about that. But like, I feel like this might have upset people. I was like, okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Go buy your pre-orders, everyone. Yeah, right. Oh, man. Horizon Zero Dawn's pretty amazing game. I've heard really good stuff. When did this start? Elwin, we've been streaming for 16 minutes and 32 seconds. So recently. Just dropping to say hola, have fun stream, watching the Ashes today. I think that's cricket. Giles, thanks for dropping by. Pat got drunk at his company holiday party and couldn't make it. It happens. A lot of rubbish nights. Hey, there's Pat. It's possible my last message was unsent because it was all caps. Anyways, I think so. Hey, this is Metroball Grid's roving reporter. Pat was joking that he would like call in from the bathroom and call it the inside job section. And then we immediately like remembered about how you cannot stream from bathrooms and not get banned. That's just kind of how it goes. And it says a lot of rubbish nights to sleep when you get sucked into a game. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did not sleep a lot last night. I was tunneling on YouTube content. I just tend to play 10 hours a game and just don't continue unless I really like it or I think there's more I could get out of it. On that note, I really should finish Inscription, huh? I feel like people did not agree with me on that. Mother 3 is an old game. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I know people made like fan-made sequels to like Mother 4. I'm not sure what the actual number is. Starting rumors of Pat. Congrats on Pat's new job. Yeah, I know. It seems good. Macaroni Pat tapped out. I lost the cube game to Mad Dash and it was kind of my fault. I used a defensive upgrade to keep them off a 2-pointer when they were on 3. So they came back last click with Mad Dash. Oh no, I had mid-season Scorchers, win in hand too. It wasn't an agenda. I guess if it's a 2-pointer, it's not an agenda they could refuse to stolen. But yeah, that'll get you. That's no mom. How's it going? Bamboozled. Renegade. They're teasing the Shaper Charm. Oh, you're talking about this too? Yeah, right? Like everyone thought this was a Shaper Charm. I feel like some people were upset. Okay, it's good to know it's not just me. Tommy G live in the bathroom at the fancy restaurant. I'm not mad, but I was also totally expecting scoops. Yeah, I know. That's the thing is like, I think they wanted to drum up some sort of like, oh, cool, new format. And like, that is cool. But like right now when people want scoops, I feel like maybe you wanted to be a bit careful about that. But that's the sort of thing. It's like expectation. And that's where we're talking about the Game Awards right now. Like most anticipated game, expectations are something you need to manage carefully with communication. And I'm not saying Nisei did like a terrible job or like, but like this is, case in point. Expectations are really important, especially on the internet where people get pretty passionate in shitty ways. Oh, Singrin, how's it going? I sucked into Super Auto Pets. I want to try it because I've been watching content. Also, thanks for the radio, Singrin. I've been watching people play Super Auto Pets and it looks like really, approachable. I've been getting into watching Northern Lion recently, who I find to be very funny, man. Hopefully he's not a shitty person and I don't know about it, which is always the fear when you get into content, I guess. Maybe. Well, maybe it shouldn't be. But yeah, Super Auto Pets looks really fun. And the fact that you can do it on, I think you can do it on web. Seems really nice. It's free to play. Scrub, are you dropping frames tonight or is that me? It is not you. It's also not me. Apparently Twitch is under a huge load right now because they're doing the Jeff Keighley Oscars for video game entertainment. So it's just bad. All of Twitch is just bad right now because they took all of their streaming pixels and they pushed them to Keighley land. So all of us here in non-Keighleyville, we only get a share a bit. So if you want to watch on YouTube, I've heard it's better. Come to YouTube, Pascal yells. Yeah, it's better on YouTube, but it might clear up if you are patient. Whenever Kojima comes out and announces the 4th version of Death Stranding, then maybe they'll shut it down on that note. Elwin, welcome over. The Jeff Keighley Oscars, he's still doing it. When I saw it, immediately thought it's a Riddler coming to Netrunner. I think everyone thought it was the Shaper Charm, right? It is very Riddler-esque though. I cannot believe if there's a Batman tie-in suddenly for Netrunner, it would make no sense. I stayed up till midnight Tuesday playing. Oh, I see it. You played Super Auto Pets till Tuesday night at midnight. Firstly, Um, are you good at it? How's it going? I do need to try it. I don't know what my secondly was. Even the game awards is lagging, so don't feel too belittled. Oh, okay, that's good. Off to YouTube. Let's hope I remember to log into the right account. You can overlap with Critical Role a lot. Maybe I should go to the YouTube route. Oh, I also overlap. Yeah, YouTube is good. You obviously see everybody now in chat because the restream bot works, which is really nice to have both people together. It's honestly, I think, as ugly as the chat is, like for me, it looks a lot nicer. You have the word restream bot showing up on every comment. So I hope it's not too bad, at least for me, because I have the restream chat like application. It looks really nice, but hopefully that's appreciated. But yeah, apparently YouTube's better tonight. So come on down. Also, last week we streamed and we did a really short stream and I did not change the YouTube cover page. And I would like to know, I did this at some point. It was like on Sunday. I was like, I should really fix that. But then I didn't, to do what I'm going to call A/B testing and not laziness. And not a lot of people watched the stream last week comparatively. Our numbers were really down, which proves that like maybe making a thumbnail is the right thing to do, which is good because I spend time on that and it'd be nice to know that it's the real thing to do. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you didn't watch last week and you thought the thumbnail did it, let me know. Let me know if you really need my face on a picture that I put up on YouTube for this to be content that you're interested in. Because I don't like doing it. I like making thumbnails. I don't like making a face and putting it on the internet, but that's how it works, I guess. All right, let's go. We like your thumbnails. Thank you, Rain. They're getting repetitive. They're really getting repetitive, especially because anytime that we end up playing precision design, the thumbnail's the same. And I'm not like making over the top faces because I respect myself. So the tanfish, but the algorithm says no, but that's exactly it. Like we learned something very important from last week. The algorithm will rule over us all. Kat, how's it going? The Stim Slack Netrunner people don't seem too fond of Critical Role, so you should be fine. Oh, fantastic. How's the new place, by the way? Batman tie into Netrunner. What are we, MTG? I'm convinced there's going to be a Netrunner tie into MTG. I think that's what everyone, that's the logical conclusion. We're a runner. Much smoother frisbee. Welcome. No stuttering. Perfect. Batman Beyond. All right. Okay. So it's a Big Max deck, and I actually haven't played this version. I saw this version, and I honestly thought it was really weird during Worlds. I looked at it and I was like, what, Aeneas Informant? Come on. Really? Why? The meta doesn't need this. Obviously, I was wrong, but I've never seen this deck. We never saw a full game of this deck on the day 2 or on the top 16, where you saw it do its thing and install Aeneas and install Salsa. We saw Ma be very good, but we saw those in lists that did not have Aeneas. If I'm not mistaken, we saw him on just about every max list, right? And we even saw decks at the top cut, like the top 16, where people were decking out CTM. They're just like, okay, I'm going to Apocalypse and trash everything. That was it. Yasangren, don't make me spend time on my thumbnails. I don't want to, but I want those views. Yasangren, you got to do it. Look, you can go, it doesn't have to be your face. It just has to be someone's face reacting. And I'm pretty sure that there's AI that can generate those for you. Oh, no, not Architects. Oh, Architects of Tomorrow is really frustrating to me. It's an ability that punishes you for interacting, just like GameNet. Oh, cheers. Hey, that's very cool. And I don't like it because, oh, they're on 54 cards too. So like this might be a long grind of a game. And a lot of times we might not be interested in running, which is not exciting. One of the best things that we can have in this matchup is actually a Hippo, because it's very easy for us to click through all the Biroids in the game, basically besides the 2.0s. And in terms of the Biroids that are playable right now, there's actually a lot of Biroids that are playable that don't see a lot of play. So it's sometimes hard to make a read. You're going to be expecting Eli's and Fairchild 2s and maybe 1s, probably not. You're going to be expecting Bronze and Oncells, which are pretty scary. This opening hand's fine. Like if they don't ice up HQ, we'll want in them, but they generally put down 2 ice because they want to basically always have 2 ice. One they res, one they free res. You want 2 ice. But opening with a Rozeki and a Paladin against a deck that's probably pretty slow seems okay. Not reaction-based thumbnails. Everybody wants them. Jeff, you're getting cornered slowly. Other than Neon Dynasty, I think so, yeah. I see a Metropole video and click the thumbnails are relevant. Apparently, Doomster, you're that's the outlier there. All right. Open R&D. Going for a single in a 54 card deck seems a bit unfortunate, but running server 1 here when they res like a Nico campaign or something and then they res 2 ice seems really bad. So I think I'm going to run R&D. If we get down Rizeki and Paladin, we're going to be on, we'll have 2 extra credits next turn. So basically we either commit to that line or we commit to Liberated. I think it might be better to do credit, Liberated. Well, you also could commit to Paladin Puemo, which is kind of akin for a credit next turn for Liberated, because if we steal an agenda, we do get the Paladin Puemo credit. I'm honestly not totally sure what the play is. Thinking. Yo, Parallel, how's it going? I'm not entirely sure. Janktivus, how's it going too? Chatting here, but watching on YouTube. Like magic. I never really considered that. It's probably worth doing. I have a YouTube on TV and chat on laptop, double views for all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Soon we will be an affiliate or a partner. So we can drop this and then we can run R&D. And then if we access an agenda, I don't know. Paladin gives extra credit next turn if you steal. It's like, yeah, installing that before we run sounds good, but the question is, do we commit to Paladin and Rizeki before we commit to the Liberated? And I feel like the Liberated's gonna be really good because we're not gonna do anything. So I think we're gonna go for the slow line and maybe go for a single here or get down the Rizeki. I feel like getting down the Paladin's better, and then we can solve the Rizeki next turn. Yeah, this is fine. We don't run R&D, whatever. Single access, we lost. If the Corp doesn't mind cheating, they should have a Fairchild 3.0. They might actually have a Fairchild. And they also are not unlikely to have a tier or so. Ooh, Tranquility early is really good. In terms of Biroids they can res that are not ice, what exists in the format? Ash is no longer in the format. That was one of the best non-ice Biroids to res for free. But Managarm isn't a Biroid. It's just like Chiraboga, right? I could get a camera. I'm not like determined to remain faceless. It just seems like a silly expense for the money time loss that I'm already getting for the content. Yeah, it's a... Oh, that's good. That'll slow him down. Obviously, the face cam thing is a mixed bag. Like people love... And this sounds really pessimistic, but like the parasocial relationship is always going to be a big part of content. I think people already like enjoy hanging out with you, Sengrin, so not too big of a deal there. But yeah, I don't know. You can start VTubing. There's nothing wrong with VTubing. VTubing is actually quite cool. Jeeves? Oh yeah, Jeeves is the thing. The camera could be used for streaming events. He said, yeah, good. Jogging, how's it going? It's been a while. You get one of the art avatars. Yeah, totally. A Relentless Avatar lets me install any card and advance it. Yes. The way it's implemented in JMet lets only me install agendas. No, you can install ice. You can install anything. That seems like a problem. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to set up. I don't think we're like really in a rush here. Maybe we could consider drawing here. I'm just going to take the money. We want to run first click if anything. Jeff is very lovely to hang out with. I believe it. Oh, Ravana is another good one. Yeah. Wow, that is the fastest Architects of Tomorrow has ever scored out in the history of Architects of Tomorrow. Unfortunately, if we check HQ here, and it is a Biroid when we click through it, we can't really do damage at one time. I'm gonna run HQ. If it's an end the run Biroid, we'll let it end the run. Because then we don't pass the ice and they don't get the 4 credit cheap res. And we're hoping it actually doesn't end the run so that we can maybe take down the Tranquility. Yeah, this is perfect. This does nothing. Now, unfortunately, we have to go through this. So they do get a free res. We're not going to install that. So unfortunately, we could have wanted here. And now this is going to be online. VTubing so 2020. We end Team Yao. Oh, man. PNG tuber. Yeah, you Sangren, there's a lot of pressure to be a VTuber, and if the internet asks for something, you have to do it. Architects of the game won't finish until tomorrow. Hey yo. All right, luckily these subroutines don't matter too much for Ravana. We can actually click through them. That's a BioVault. Okay, well, I'm gonna just overclock, I think, server 1. I don't want them to have this. I feel like I did not respect Drafter enough. I don't think Drafter matters. What are they gonna... Oh, they seamless launched it. Like, they can return a seamless launch, it's fine. They're thinking on 4 credits, which means this probably costs 4 credits. I don't think we want to play that unless we want to commit to running next click. I think we're just going to keep drawing through our deck. Yeah. All right, looking for my V-Rig now. Fantastic. And remember, you don't have to be a human. You can do anything. That's kind of the beauty of VTubing. All right. Okay. So we have a Liberate. In terms of multi-access, we have 4 pieces, and we've lost a turning wheel. If we go HQ here, we can double click through this to get a single access, but then they get a res for 4. Could be Eli in the remote. Yeah, it could be Eli. What else is that for? Probably just Eli. And they probably just want to res it for free, so they weren't resing it. They can return to seamless launch. It's fine. It's fine if they return to seamless. Like, it's not the end of the world. They go down to 0 creds for that. Want to have VTube as Apex? I think it's gonna be hard to render all those tentacles. Like, this is the problem, is like, if we don't have multi-axis, I don't like running. Like, I love aggression where we can make like cheap, you know, single runs. And this Architects of Tomorrow says, forget it, right? So we want to draw into hippos, because we hippo ice, we get opening. We want to get Stargate. We want to get runs that actually matter. DJ Fenders obviously makes running HQ quite nice. I think we could consider that. We could install these two. We want to drop once more because we want to get our breakers into the bin. We have access to only a singleton breaker. I think if we hit an Eli, we'll be fine with a paperclip. So I think here we actually will install Fenris, and we can discard. We're always going to go Steve. We're going to discard, I think. It's more likely that we'll need the MK Ultras, because if we do hit a drafter. And sometimes they do actually run hard end runs, just because having only Biroids makes it hard to rush out agendas. Yeah, find hippos seems really important. Oh, shit. That's good. I can give you the botchless 3D model. Whoa. That'd be really cool. It could be shape for charm. Okay, we have a Taka, which is obviously quite nice. So we have access to 2 breakers. We lost a Gachapon in our second turning wheel, so that's not coming back unless we run HQ. Unless we labor rights it, which I don't think we're going to do. We need to install something here. So we could obviously sit back. I'm just going to keep drawing for a hippo. We can do this. We can install cards really cheaply here. Now this lets us install companions. It doesn't let us install connections. So we're going to get some things on the table. We're going to install this. I'm worried about Arc Lockdown. Arc Lockdown seems like it could be a bit troubling. But we're not going to respect it. Which is cuter, Botchless or Leech? Leech by a mile. Such a mile. Huge mile. Leech is quite cute. Botchless looks like food poisoning. All right, Deuce is wild. So we can use this for expose and run, which is technically click compression if you want to click through ice. But like, we really can't afford going a single here. And we pay like, you know, 9 for this. So like, we're just going to sit back and probably charge our remote server and find hippos. So we're going to do that. Draw 2, gain 3 is not often how this gets played modernly anymore. We could always moshing through the Paladin Puemo. And I think we'll this as well. Sanjay! Yo, huge write-up, man. 100% respect, not respecting our lockdown. Yo, do you ever? If you're playing this many cards? I think we want to moshing. We can mosh out 1 labor rights. And then these 2. And see how this goes. Maw is potentially impactful. We're still very much looking for hippos, which you cannot install with Gachapon. We definitely want to get the daily cast down, but like, we're just not going to interact with them. We just want to make sure we have money that we can interact if we need to. So we could install these 2. That's fine. I don't think we should play this Gamble if we have liberated. Yeah, okay. Keep our money up. Apex is Twitch. Are we talking about an Apex VTuber avatar? Yeah, Yusengra needs an avatar. So if you have your favorite suggestions of Netrunner properties or just really anything, I recommend respecting it. Watch me. All right, Triple Ice, they have seamless. Like, we have to do something. We have to. Oh, we lost the overclock. That's a bummer. Well, 19 credits seems like a lot, right? We're going to run this, and it's going to be another copy of Tranquility Home Grid. Biofault also is like pretty interesting. I don't know whether that means that they're playing La Costa. I imagine not if they're on Tranquility. But I think we're just going to run this. Larry yelled at me every time I discarded labor rights, but I did it all the time. Huge. All right, so you can obviously trickle click through this. Otherwise, we'd have to install a breaker and break for 9. So it's 9, 10, 11. Seems bad. I don't think our 3 clicks are worth 11, so I'm gonna click through it. I'm just gonna go ahead and click through it. Could also nuke their hand. It's a bit too late now, but like, we're gonna spend a lot to nuke their hand, and I don't know if that's worth it. Can't seem to on cards in HQ. Yeah, but we threw out our threw out our think here. If you could just want in here. They might have real 3/2s. I'm assuming obviously that, well, they might have Macrophages in the list. There's a Brawn. That's okay. That's actually much cheaper for us to deal with. They res that for 2 credits. Yeah, I pitched it a couple turns ago. Okay, not too bad. And now they actually have to really res something, which is nice. You want them to res 3 ice a turn if you can get away with it. I don't think this is an agenda though. And if we don't mad dash, because this list does not have mad dash, we're actually going to be like pulled to this remote server pretty heavily until we like hippo into Stargate and pull this down. They were considering resing this when we had 4 credits, and now we're on 5 credits, and they're still considering it. Oh, wow, it's Ravana. That's good. Normally Wanteds are my only real contribution to the list, and they were mostly a trap. Oh, yo, Sanjay, never admit that, man. So we're going to have to break that. So there goes our money. Luckily, their money too. We have 4 credits, so we can trash Regolith if we need to, and we will. So we will both be in the absolute toilet. Welcome to the toilet. Wanted's pretty good in current meta, isn't it? I believe it. The list, whatever, for what it's worth, does have enough disruption. And this is the issue now, is they can just jam in the remote server. Oh, subliminal messaging gives us pad tap. That's nice. Okay. 30 cards left. Stargate is good. Oh, we lost a hippo, though. We lost 2 hippos. Okay. So can we run HQ? You can make 19 credits next turn. You're fine. I think we want to run HQ to get a hippo, and then we do hippo Stargate on the Fairchild. So this is 5 credits. We can consider double clicking through it. So I'm gonna hit the sure gamble button, and then we're gonna run HQ. So you might as well just hit the liberated button. 6 Roseki's counting pad tap. Yeah, we have a lot of money, but we can't afford to run this all the time. I guess we're double clicking this. Otherwise, no, we're gonna pay 5. And now they can res something. Oh, wait, I did not pay enough. I did it too soon. That should do it. Is Twitch behaving now? I have no idea. All right, so they can res a Biroid for 4 less. Basically anything. It's a sure lock 2.0. Wow, for 7, that's perfect. They have no money, so the only nightmare if that server 1 is Rashida. Steve Cambridge is going to be between 2 hippos. They can choose which hippo they give to us, and it's a global food initiative. Nice. That's points. Okay, so we obviously want to get this down. We can do it for free. That seems good, and that's a threat, because next turn they're very unlikely to be able to res something. If they just put an ice in front of the Fairchild, that's good. And then here we could either click for 4, or we could put down the Gachapon. The Gachapon would be like digging for a Rozeki, which is a bit awkward, because if we don't install our Maw, we can't like install the MK Ultra if we need it. But I think this is probably worth it. It also installs Virtuals, but we've lost 2 turning wheels. I don't know. Is it worth it to lose cards here? Have to imagine there are ganks in here. Whoa, actually, that might be something worth respecting. But like, how? Because they could very easily infinite ganked us with downsells. That would be honestly fitting for this channel. Okay, Twitch is still not good. Kojima's still out there doing stuff. Okay, so server 1, they moved nothing, which means we should be able to, we have to break all the subroutines on this, which usually is 3 credits and a click. I'm going to try and remember to use this. Okay, so it looks like we have a Stargate here. It could be a Spin Doctor in server 1. Aeneas, Botulus, Moss, Stargate, Overclock. So it looks like it's a Stargate, right? Oh, we have a Botulus. But if we do that, we can't afford the Stargate, which is already 2 MU. Oh, I should have considered this. We're not even using our Paladin Puemo credits. I think we might have done something bad here. Ugh. Shuffle back, laundry, Botulus, Overclock. Done. Okay. And there's the Overclock. That's the 3rd Overclock. So we can just Stargate here. We can spend a click, break 3. They have nothing to res, which is also nice because they didn't get anything on the table, which is a bit unfortunate for them. And we're going to do it. And we're not going to pass the ice, right? So they wouldn't even get the ability if they could. So we're going to break 3, which is good. And then we're going to spend a click because we have to break all the subroutines. Oh, no. No, oh, it's a 2.0. Oh, wait. Sorry, I need to. No. That's my bad. It's a 2.0, so I'm going to break both. Yeah, we'll pay 6. I forgot. Might be. Yes, thank you. That was a bit more expensive than I thought it'd be. Architect deployment test, that's huge. Seamless launch and Hellion beta test. Hellion beta test, that's a trace? Oh, that's incredibly rude. So we're going to trash the seamless launch and we're just going to run back. Now, obviously, they could shuffle with the Jackson or a Spin Doctor, but they can do that anyways. Might as well get the seamless out of there. They could shuffle here in server 1 if there's a Spin Doctor. And so now we trashed a card. So we have to worry about a Hellion beta test. Trashed an Axis Corp card. Okay, so no, that actually doesn't work his turn. At this point in time, if they don't ice up R&D and they're not drawing ice here, let alone it's going to be tricky for them to res it, we can actually get them the Maw next turn and then start being really obnoxious and starting hitting cards from HQ and to top of R&D. So they have some work to do here. I'm going to... Oh, wow. Yeah, right. We have an extra click. We have 2 credits there. I think we're just going to clear out a liberated accounts. Actually, we put down a Maw here that we can click run first click, which would be nice because then we can click through some ice if we need to. Not sure if we want to do that. I probably shouldn't have shown that, actually. I think it would be better to just establish our economy before putting that down. This was a really bad timing, though, or really bad, obviously, ordering when it comes to our MU, because we did not respect it and we lost a paperclip, which we're going to pay back for. Eek? Yeah, Eek seems about accurate. That's okay. This is definitely a bit clumsy. Going down to 1 seems bad. We just had this combo on Jeff's stream. Uh-oh. Basically showing them that they have to deal with this is one of the worst things you can do as your last click. I think that is obvious, right? Like you don't want to put this down and basically say like put something on R&D. Wait, you can't do this. I didn't. An Axis Corp card. Yeah, no. Oh, that shouldn't work. Yeah, that Maw was not correct. That shouldn't fire. Didn't trash an Axis Corp card. Yeah. Yeah, because Stargate doesn't access. It's one of the revealed. And then that's all we did. And then you don't access ice, so Hippo doesn't do it either. Yeah, nor Hippo. Wild. Yeah, that Maw was definitely not right, but I don't think they're gonna be able to ice up R&D. There's just like no reason to commit this line and then they ice up R&D. Like now we're behind credits for something we don't need. So yeah, this is definitely not great. Half the strength of this deck is maintaining a threatening amount of credits. Yeah, and we're not doing it. But I don't think we're going to threaten enough credits for R&D anyways. For 2 credits, they can res Fairchild 1 unless they have specifically like advanced assembly lines, which would be cute and rude. But we are still going to do it. And we're going to Stargate away. We have to make sure if we do trash something. Love everything your opponent's trying out here. Yeah, it's cool. And now they're not going to get their ability. It's a Kamali 1.0, a CFC excavation contract, which is a 4-2 agenda and an Eli. Kamali 1.0, I don't honestly know what that is. Do 1 brain damage, installed resource. That seems like a problem. So we'll trash that. We'll run back on R&D. Yeah, so far so good. Continue to be wrong in double Stargate. The double Stargate honestly is interesting. And if we run 1 more time here, we actually will get a trash with Architects of Tomorrow, and it won't be a card we're accessing. Okay, chat, I'm going to pause here. Is going for a Maw access better than just clicking for 4 credits here to get ready for next turn? Do you think, and I'm worried that's a Rashida, but do you think that the Maw trigger here is worth it? We're on game point. And we haven't seen the Spin Doctor so far. We know that there's 2 Seamlesses out. Do you go here for the boop? For the Maw trigger off of top of R&D? You can also clear Trickster. Oh, that's true. We need to clear Trickster. But we can just boost, right? Like we just boost for free. Why do you care about that with AOT's HQ when you've got Stargate lock? That's a good point. I don't think we need to. But Trickster we can just boost, right? We're stealing an agenda. Spend host credits to use programs. Mossing is good. Uh-oh. Yeah, we just have to remember to boost there. Because we don't want to take the tag. So we can just do this anytime. Plus 2 strength. You can just do it. We can always play the gamble later. Yeah, you can always play the gamble later. Set up money to keep gate lock. I think the money is right for the gate lock. Unfortunately, though, I guess I'll play the Stargate here. I mean, the sure gamble so we don't discard cards. We just have to make sure that we use this. Oh, during runs. Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's only during run, so we have to run here. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna use those credits during. Let's use it. Okay. What are these power counters? No, they're credits. Counter. Credit. C0? Is it? Oh, sick. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm on the right credit count. Just take a tag. Yeah, that seems terrible. I don't want to do that. That's a regolith. Okay, so they're back on it. So in terms of the Stargates, unfortunately we only have one more. So if we don't naturally draw it, we will never get it back. Because unless we liberate it. Yeah, we're fine discarding. Discarding's not bad. Especially because we have one installed. What do you need that second Stargate for? To win the game. You don't believe in double Stargate? I believe in double Stargate. Okay, now they can res 2 ice, but that's fine. Loki. Oh, cool. Which ice? Yeah, we have liberates, yeah. On cell 1.0. So it is a sentry. Are we allowed to install our breaker? Wait, what? Is that how it works? When the runner encounters Loki, so we can't install a breaker? Until the end of the run, Loki gains the subroutines of the ice and the subroutines of the ice before Loki's other subroutines. Whoa, wait, what? Whoa. We can't click through that. Huh. Okay. Well, they're on 0 credits. They have 9 next turn. Yeah, I guess that fires. That's not that bad, though. Install a card from HQ Archive. That seems a bit worse. Huh. Yeah. During encounter, it's typeless. But when we encounter, it becomes a type. So we're not going to end the run and shuffle our grip in. That seems bad. We may not trash cards, so the Stargate's going to be useless. They get to trash one of our cards. Wait. Hold on. No install because install trigger. You encounter first. Wait, we're getting smashed, Lamau. Yes. Breaker trigger first. It looks like no. Nombo and offer you can't refuse though. Yes. Just shuffle your hand back into your stack. We're not going to do that. Because no matter what, this subroutine fires. That's a Tranquility Home Grid. This subroutine fires, which says we cannot steal a trash card, so it's useless going through. What do they trash? Our Maw. That's upsetting. We removed one from the game. Okay. That was pretty good. We can run archives, I guess, if that matters in the slightest. We could run archives. We obviously could get a Rozeki down. We do want to get an install here. Do we run archives for a single access? It feels bad. In terms of our Maws left, there's no more. Maybe you should choose Stargate there. I was hoping they do. That's why we have a second one. So there's one more Maw on the list. Loki doesn't have the click clause? Yeah, no, apparently not. Because it only gets the subroutines and the type. It doesn't get the text. So they'll lose a click. Yeah, we'd be much better off if they trash the other thing. Okay, so what do we do here? Obviously, we're on game points. We need to get our MK Ultra down to deal with this. This is trace 4, give the runner a tag. We have 1 on Taka, so we could run into this. We really just want to draw, I think. I think we want to draw into our last Hippo, and we want to draw into our last Maw. How much does the remote cost? We know that there's a regolith in there. Sorry, we know there's a regolith. We know that there's a... What's it called? The thing they just installed, the grid. And server, this might actually be a ganked, which is a problem. This cost us 11. This cost us 5, so 16, and this costs us 6. So it costs us 22 to run the remote server and then have to deal with a ganked, which means we need another like 6 credits or a click. So not really a thing we can do right now, but we could definitely set up to deal with that. And I think that's probably right. I'm going to draw once though. That can let us dig for sure. We can definitely get the liberated accounts down for 3 credits, which seems nice. It's probably going to pay off sooner than the Rozeki. Because I think we're going to win sooner than the Rozeki will pay off. Obviously, this is click intensive, but I think this is worth going. Where can we run to get the MK down? That's the issue, and I think eventually we'll run HQ. just to get this to trigger, and then we can get back, well, not 2 Maws, but we will figure out something. It'll probably be like 2 overclocks. Yeah, I think we'll just take the money here. The orb, if we get it down, like it's only going to pay off in like 5 turns. I'm not too excited about that. The Wanton seems bad. We know a bunch of their draw, but the Orchestra seems useless. Yeah, it's not going to be a problem to get our MK Ultra down. We just have to like commit to running HQ. And this is 6, which again means it's 9 credits. We could double click and take the tag, which is not amazing. Regolith is done, or Pad Tap has done its thing. And they did install another card, which is great, because now we don't have to do anything. All right, what do we lose? Last Hippo. Fuck. Okay, that's bad. So that's the 3rd Hippo. So Labor Rights, we're getting close to there. We need to get our MK Ultra down. Oh, man. Was that the next card? Ah, it was the next card. If we drew one more time, we would have got the Hippo. Ah, feels bad. But I think we just money up here. I think we just money up, and then we eventually threaten HQ and get down our MK Ultra. If we double clean through this, Wanton's pretty bad. You can mess us with those. Excuse me? They can mess with us, though, I guess. By installing more ice outside. Yes, if you get the MK down, they could just copy Brand. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. We have to get all our breakers down. Yeah, but Brand's not the worst. But yeah, we have to get everything down. Yeah. Now I regret throwing out that paperclip a long time ago. Oh, that's really awkward. And paperclip count? 1. 1. So there's 2 in the deck. Well, I've had worse. Oh, Rebirth. That's a good card. I feel like that's worth doing. Seems good. We just Rebirth Omar, run archives. We have 9 credits. There's only 1 Loki in the list, probably. Let's go. We have 2 on Taka. What are we worried about? Are those new glasses? This year, yes. But I think we got them in the summer. That's an Eli. Fantastic. MU. Shit. Can't click through it. I think we'll just let this fire. Oh, man. MU is problem. Well, this lets us get our paperclip down pretty easily, and hopefully they'll reinforce this instead of jamming. They still have a lot of work to do. They probably only have 2 foods in the list. I don't think we're going to install here because I don't want to trash any of these cards. If we get into HQ, like, we can do a double Omar. Or sorry, a Steve. And then pick, like, a Maw and then hopefully a second Maw by that point. But we're not drawing anymore. And if we get through this, they don't have anything to res, so it's not the worst thing to get through, honestly. We need all our breakers down if they have Loki. Could just eat the gate. That's honestly true. We probably should have just ate the gate because the trigger on the double draws seems pretty good. And then we can pick between Maw and Hippo and see what they do. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Hold on. Do you mind if I go through? Yeah, that's fine because that's why we have the second hand. Yeah, because then we can choose Hippo and then Maw. Which is interesting, right? Is it worth giving them the choice of Hippo Maw at this point? Because then obviously if we lose the Hippo, we don't have the Hippo for the rest of the game. And I think they'll give us the Maw. This comes in for 1 cheaper. We have to trash this. Then we break this for very little. Do you do Hippo Maw? Do you give them opportunity? Sweet talking to fan gets some takebacks. Yo, that's the advantage. Oh, Warrior Tracker. That's a Byroid. They really do care about the traces in this deck. I think we're going to go HQ just for the stability. So a lot of options here. Let me move my face. I'm going to just cover the agendas, I guess, from this point on. So we have a Singleton Maw, which is not great. And we have a Singleton Hippo, which is not good. So we can make them have an actual Steve choice, which you don't see a lot of, to give them an interesting decision here. It's very unlikely that they'll give us the Hippo. The Hippo lets us deal with the Eli trivially, lets us deal with the Loki, and we have more Maws in the deck. So it's either patience or just go for this now. I honestly don't know what we do. I'm going to go for it. Otherwise, like, I don't know what we would get here. Maybe like 2 card draw cards seems okay because we don't have card draw anymore. But our economy is pretty good. We have a moshing for card draw. Yeah, we really want the hippo, which is the problem, but like there's no way for us to definitely get the hippo unless we labor rights back in, which is actually probably worth waiting for. So maybe we just go like Ma overclock. It's probably fine. Or turning with turning wheel is also fine too. I think that's fine too. That gives us another option out. We have a labor rights? Yeah, we have a labor rights. I think we could consider doing turning wheel, turning wheel. Okay, I'm gonna put my face here for the rest of the game. I haven't watched the world's coverage and this max deck is rude. James, how's it going? Oh, never mind, we win. Ooh, good game. Hey, you too. All right, so don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll just get the agenda. I don't know how many more agendas they've had in their hand. We had some really impactful Stargates. Each Stargate was like seamless, trash ice agenda, and trash ice agenda. Ah, bummer. Those hippos are such a big deal. But I've never seen someone score it so aggressively. A lot of times when you see Architects of Tomorrow, you try and find ways to like to make them run a remote server. So you do see things like, you know, I think regolith mining is a pretty good way to do it. You also saw Subliminal, which triggered once, which was as good for us as it was for them, largely. But like having the seamless launches, that's really cool because now like you're actually considering running every turn. Thanks, you too. I think they're street cleaning. You probably are able to hear that. Give me 1 second. All right, so we're playing. Oh, I forget the name of the game. Maddie, what's the name of the game? Detective? Okay, so obviously Shut Up and Sit Down did a review for this, but we picked up Detective City of Angels. And it is a crime-solving narrative board game in which you have cases, and then you sit down and you try and solve it. But the interesting thing about this game is that one player plays a character that's called the Chisel, and the Chisel is meant to represent the city of Los Angeles and all the characters. And their basically job is to run the game like kind of like a DM. And so anytime that you go and question somebody, they get a list of like all the options the person could say. And one of them is marked as like the best option or the most helpful option. And there's a bunch of other options that are either less helpful or like straight up lies and misdirection and stuff like that. And so their job is to basically play with the players and make sure that they don't solve the case and kind of have fun with it. It's kind of up to you. Like you could be an absolute menace and make it really, really difficult to solve the case, or you can make it like kind of fun and like, you know, play with people, but not make it impossible. It's kind of up to you. And so I was the Chisel for the first 2 cases. And one of the cool things is that you can play the cases single player on your own to learn the case, and you play against the book so that you understand all the tricks and the red herrings. And then once you've prepared yourself and immersed yourself in the case, you go off and you are the Chisel. So I was the Chisel for the last 2, and Maddie really wanted to do the Chisel. So right now she just did case 3, and apparently she did it on her own. So I'm excited. I think we might be doing that tomorrow night with my family. So I'm stoked. It's been really fun. Yeah, Shut Up and Sit Down did a review. They did. And so far it's been really great. I haven't been the best Chisel so far, and I do think I need to keep notes to remember the things that I've told people, to remember what narratives that like I am pushing in the direction. Let's do one more. I don't know if I want to play against this, but I want to get over anxiety and also continue parasocial interactions. Oh, excuse me. Elwin, for what it's worth, we will be playing a different deck after this. Continue parasocial interactions. Daijin, don't you have your magic device program that filters sound? Also, I really like it when you introduce us to new games. Ah, cheers. Let me tell you about Flesh and Blood. I don't. I honestly don't have that thing on because it degrades 53 cards. Wild. It degrades the quality of my sound, but since they released it properly, hey. Since they like officially released it, because I used to have the beta, it does not detect my audio interface as a microphone. I don't also have an RTX card, which I don't think is massively important, but unfortunately it does not recognize my microphone and it doesn't work. I need to look at it, but I don't have that activated, so you might be hearing some nonsense. When we'll be streaming Flesh and Blood anyways? Elwin, I don't want to say too soon, but I have actually, as of today, grabbed the name of a new channel on Twitch and YouTube because it looks like we will be streaming some events in the new year. I might have said too much because we still haven't figured out logistics of how it works. But basically, I've been talking to a local game store about like doing some streaming, and it seems like everyone's really excited about it. So we might actually be starting streaming Flesh and Blood tournaments next year. Quince will use an excuse to break out the trench coat. 100%. Yes. This is Egg Infusion, which can be quite tricky to run. They mulliganed? No, they kept. They took a mulligan and they drew first click. Okay. Schmendrick, still no Pat. I guess this is fine. Yeah, I feel the same way. Don't worry. He'll be here next year. But yeah, we should be streaming some Flesh and Blood pretty soon. I also said to Eric Whiteblade, we were going to do like a Learn to Play Flesh and Blood stream in the new year, in January at some point, which is, it's fun. It's a fun game. All right. So again, when we run, firstly, they want to get up a big spicy piece of ice so that they can throw us into it at any point, which is, an issue for us. I think at 5 credits, we're not scared of much besides the Size Henton. So I'm just gonna put down the turning wheel and run HQ. Like they mulligan, they drew. The chance of this being bad for them is pretty high. And I don't mind hitting just about any of these cards to what's it called? To Obokata, besides the Hippo's the best card. Kakugo, okay. That's why the Hippo's the best card. You could do a Learn to Afford FAB stream. Yo, it's actually really affordable. If you play not at the highest echelon competitive gaming, you can buy decks for like $10. Singles are super cheap. You can draft for like really cheap as well. All right, well, we can't trash that. So I guess we're going to put down Daily Cast and go down to 0 credits. Probably did that wrong. I got a copy of Micro Macro Crime City to play over the holidays to scratch the murder solving itch, but Detective looks really cool. Micro Macro looks really, really cute. And I know it won a couple awards. It's something that I haven't picked up yet, and I don't know if I will. I think it's cute. Oh, we lost 2 labor rates. Bummer. But it does look really fun. Metro Ball squishy human stuff doesn't have the same ring. Good luck nonetheless. Thank you. Okay, so they put something in server 1. It's probably the Lacosta, but jamming the Lacosta at this point doesn't matter. We know that there's possibly Kakugo here. If we were really brave, we would consider dirty laundering HQ, and on 6 credits, they can't really res much. I think we're going to do it. I've played some Fab. It's a fun game, but I don't have a bandwidth for another card game. That's fair. Oh, it is a Kakugo. Okay, that's fine. So we did lose, 5 credits, so feels a bit bad. But now we can farm the turning wheel, and once we get everything down, we can click through it. I'm gonna run just like very aggressively. Like they can't afford snare. We want to click for 1 credit so we can trash a Rashida in their mode server. They could always toss us into the Kakugo, but it doesn't really do much. Oh, it is the Lacosta. Okay, that's unfortunate. This is not good because we're not setting up. But oh boy. Okay, well, a 53 card deck, that actually might be pretty aggressive. So now being on 1 credit feels really bad. In before hard hitting news. I didn't know you could click card images in JNet to get text version of the card. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's super useful. Wait, click card images in JNet to get the text? Oh yes. Yes. Is that useful? I guess so. So something on top of the Lacosta is pretty scary. On 3 credits, again, they can res maybe an Enigma. Access to breakers, no thank you. And we only have 3 credits to our name. Our economy has been entirely this daily casts. So I'm going to go ahead and moshing, and I think we're going to throw away... I've had worse is not the had worst. Like, it's totally fine if we take a damage to draw 3. And the Gachapon can help to find Rozeki. I think we have 2 left in the list, and we might have to be a bit hopeful there. But on 3 credits... I think we want to click 1 here and then run server 1 potentially. Your max, you don't need to set up. I'm hoping not. It's a spin doctor. Okay. I'm going to trash the spin doctor. We're not going to trash that. Yeah, they're on 3 credits. We'll run R&D. Like, we're just going to keep doing this. Maybe last click we'll put down a Gachapon. There's not a lot we can install. Oh, that's good. There's not a lot we can install with the Gachapon, though, which is the issue. And Trickster Taka doesn't seem particularly powerful when we're... I'm just going to keep going here. Like, if we hit an Obokata, it's good, because we can I've had worse through it. But they're probably on 4/2s. That's not good. That's probably their next turn. It's useful for people who use screen readers and stuff. Oh, that's true. Does a screen reader work just by highlighting text? Oh, that's actually really quite bad. They're on 7 if they hit this, which means they can't res an Anansi, because as soon as they res 1 big ice, like that's the issue with the Ag Infusion, because then they just throw us into the big ice. So we need to take that down for sure. So we're going to have to basically just run it. In the card list, it tells you format, legalities, and printing info. Huh. Artem, super pumped about in-person Netrunner. Yeah, it's happening. We have an event. It's actually a startup tournament on the 19th. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to make it, which is really exciting. Okay, so we're going to moshing here. I think we're actually going to moshing through our I've had worse, unfortunately, which doesn't feel great. And I think we only have one Taka in the list, but what can you do? Oh, that actually helps us contest if we need to. So I'm going to hit this button and we're just going to run server 1. Enigma is like the blowout here, or a code gate. So we could pre-install the Black Orchestra. I think honestly that's fine. This means that we die to Saisentan pretty consistently. No, we have an MK Ultra. But yeah, we want to take this down before the money gets out of hand. They could have also thrown us off the server to protect their 9 credits, which might not have been wrong. And Locosta we really can't afford to deal with. Our economy's been really bad. Locosta Seamless can NA at 5-3? Yeah, totally. Yeah, maybe they are on 5-3s as well. Because you're right, Seamless plus Locosta is not very common. They have a hedge fund. They've played it. They're on 15, so now we can't face check. Now we have to set up. But like, we have burnt so much time and we have nothing to show for it. Like, we have 2 Rizekis in the bin. We haven't seen a single pad tap. Let's try and scrounge up an economy. We could dirty laundry archives. There's some unknowns in there. Let's draw. Okay, well, at least we have all breakers. And 2 botulists is actually pretty good for contesting. So they lost the Kakugo and another Lacosta. I think we'll draw here and get all our breakers in the bin. Okay. Now we do have obviously a big turning wheel, which we could, in theory, not mad dash because we don't have it, but like we could try and make that into points. And now something's on Lacosta on double ice, looking at border control. They have 17 influence, so it's going to be hard to contest the remote server. Meat Space Netrunner is so great. I'm really hoping I can fire this 4-person draft I've planned this weekend. Oh, that sounds really fun. Did you build draft like a cube, or are you drafting like the old packs? Draft is really fun. Now, the good thing about this ability is that like we can just, and I think we should because they drew a lot. Like I think we could just drop the hippo and just start smashing HQ. We could flush out HQ pretty well. If we don't want to do the paperclip, we could also botulist this. It's probably just worth getting the paperclip down. And then like, how much is this? So this is 6. We need 4, 5, 6, 7 for this. So I think we're just going to go to 0 credits, unfortunately. Like we just aren't spending up much money here. Now, if they do Lacosta Seamless to score out a 5-3, I don't think it matters unless it's like a 4-2 and they're scoring out a viral weaponization. But we could just get ready to punch a hole in HQ pretty soon. So I'm going to do that. We're just trying into economy. That's fine enough. Not particularly credit positive in the short term. Oh, you got a cube. Hell yeah. Oh, it's Rashida. Okay, that's bad. Now, there's probably like 2 to 3 agendas on HQ. Because they fired Rashida. It's been a couple turns. They fired a Spin Doctor and they haven't filtered. So now we're just hoping that they don't ice up HQ. I think drafting is neat too. Drafting is really, really fun. Yeah, shit. Okay, that was our window. So now we just have to set up and get money again. Okay, probably going to score out. I'm really getting to limited 6-point Netrunner. I'm not a big fan of 6-point Netrunner. 3rd Puemo. These are awkward draws. We lost all our labor rights. Whoa, that's actually really bad. We lost double labor rights on our 2nd mill and we just lost our 3rd one. So the only way to get back in the game, we basically have 34 cards left because we also have our DJ Fenris over there. So we have no way of recurring any cards in our deck whatsoever. Find the DJ. No, it's gone. Tonight, I really should start playing again instead of only living vicariously through your streams. Glad you can make it. But there's maybe in your area, like Nisei is starting up organized play. Yeah, no, we're in a bad spot. We've lost everything. We've lost a Fenris and 3 labor rates. So gonna just have to like find economy somehow. Hippo's good. Nothing wrong with Hippo, but like, look how bad this hand is. You can't really wanton Ag Infusion. Like, what are we doing? This goes down to very few credits. I guess. Ugh. Just draw Rebirth. Yeah, Rebirth would be good. We can Maw Rebirth. Well, eventually. If we don't draw the Rebirth, it's also such a worse game for us. Yeah, okay, they're going to score at a 5-3. This actually could be a punitive list as well, if they're on 5-3s this aggressively. Wow, look how Seamless to have a click left, which means they could jam another 4-2 in there. They did not have to Seamless, but now they're going to score out really fast. Got 3 sample things to do Levy though, yeah. Yeah, they can actually score out really fast, and they probably have multiple agendas in hand, so like we just have to do something. Unfortunately, 3 credits is not like a lot to do something upon. Or with. This is such a different game than last time. And I know I spent so much time just like trying to convert turning wheel tokens into a win in the early game, which is probably wrong. Could you just want to debate the Egg Infusion then Hippo the Kakugo? We could, but like, yeah, maybe that was worth, honestly. Yeah, maybe that's the right thing to do. I think we just have to keep hitting the money button. But they're going to score out another agenda here and gain 8 credits at the same time, or an Issei token. Haha! Yeah, there is 8 credits. And because we're not doing anything, we're not playing Netrunner. Once upon a time, District 99 was consideration. It's a really slow card, but I like it a lot. That's our first Stargate, 23 cards left. They have 20 credits. So we still can't deal with Anansi. It's 9, 10, 11. Oh, we actually can. Never mind. I did the math. So we actually probably need to run here. We do need to get our mod down. I still kind of want to draw up. Gachapons give us access to none of the cards we really need, like Rebirth. But they can install an agenda in the remote server and win next turn, and we still have to steal like 3 agendas. Yeah, faceplant the Nancy and R&D. Yeah, I think you're right. But like R&D for 3, that's probably fine. And if they res it, we hippo it. Yeah, let's go. Let's lock R&D. But they probably have a 5-3 in hand. Honestly, maybe we should see 2 off of R&D and then use the counters for HQ. Seamless? That's bad. Thimblerig, that's also bad. So we could consider going HQ here. We'll take the damage pretty happily. Oh. I don't want to take the damage. I think we just hippo through this. Do we install a paper clip? No. Yeah, we can tear that down next turn. Could try Luxacking the Gachapon Stargate. Yeah, we could have. We definitely could have. They might consider resing there. I just think they're going to jam it to remote server we lose because they have Seamless and La Costa. Like, there's not much we can do. We probably run server 1 if anything. But we're assuming that the card in there is Anoetic. This has just been a totally non-game, and I feel like a lot of that is just how we played our early game. All right, we don't have anything. So we just run server 1. We just run it a couple times. They can stop us a couple times, but if they res an outermost and Nancy, we get them. So I think we're just going to run it. Fortunately, we haven't seen an overclock yet. We have 1 in the bin. We could consider moshing, but we need to run this 3 times. We actually should consider moshing, I think. Yeah. Just because we draw an overclock, it seems pretty good. Oh, we drew a rebirth, which is cute too. 2 Kakagos are out, so rebirthing into a Quetzal for their mode doesn't seem that reasonable. So we're just going to go for it. 24 credits is a lot. And they're outermost, we could hippo it. And if they spend like 8 on ice, like they're not going to have that much money for Anoetic. Oh, it's a border control. That's not worst case scenario, but it's not great. So that deals with that. They could opt to use it. We're going to assume there's another border control here on their remote server. They scored behind a single piece of ice in the early game. I think. This has to cost, like, the innermost has to cost 8. It has to cost something wild. But if they do that and they resonate, they can't really afford. And Macrophage also is probably alive. Yeah, that's fine. Because now they're in 3 credits. This is fine. We can run this. They can't. They could, what's it called? Do this once, and we can still run this twice, right? Like they have to Ag Infusion once, and then they can, what's it called once? No choice there. Keep the rebirth. Oh, we're so good. Anoetic. Okay, we know they have a Seamless in hand. So I do think we trash this. Whew. Whew. Okay, so we can still win. We kept the rebirth. I can't believe we kept the rebirth. That's the only way we win here. So we have to draw up so that we have an ability to interact. All right, I'm not sweating. Are you sweating? This also doesn't stop us from stealing agendas barring Obakata, so they probably have 2 or 3. Do we die to punitive? They would need both of them. Looks like no. And do they have double seamless is the other question. We've seen one so far. We know there's one in hand, and they just respected it. And that's probably the thimble rig, honestly, which is good enough for them. We're down 2 mods in the bin. I'm just gonna keep my face here. The agendas, they don't matter. So we out 2 mods, if I'm not mistaken. I wish I could click on one and it would highlight all of the ones in the bin. That'd be cool. Because it's sometimes hard to do this. Or you should be able to sort this. There's no reason why this should be in order, unless, no, it actually does matter. Yeah. Because you can tell how your deck milled itself. We probably don't have to run here unless they have double seamless. And they have enough credits, which is annoying. They also didn't res the DNA on the outermost, so we could like hit R&D pretty easily here. So I think we're going to do sure gamble run R&D. They can't afford snare, so we're going to keep our rebirth. And we want to lock. We'll draw once so that we have enough for Obokata. Will we trade a rebirth for the Obokata? Probably. We'll lock the top 3. Sandbox, sick, Thimble Rig, Chiashi, Anansi. Oh, it was top 4, excuse me. Okay. I do think we will just go HQ. Oh, we can't really. I'd love to hear your gripes about 6-point Netrunner. I've grown quite fond of it and compressed the agenda design space in ways that are a bit of a bummer, but that's about the only gripe I have. So the idea of like having to steal 7 points generally means, you know, a lot of times 2 or 3 or 4 agendas. Losing on 2 agendas is really rough. Like you can just have R&D open turn 1, and the chance of like them stealing two agendas off the top R&D on turn 1, like to me that feels like it would be more likely, or it just feels worse. Like I'd not like to run 3-pointers, and if they steal one, it's like, oh shit, well the game's over. Like I can't bluff anymore. Having not being on game point where you can put agendas in the remote server, I think is a huge part of the game, and you just kind of lose that. Oh, Paladin! Oh, my friend, I forgot. Not that we had anything to install. You must trash one of your installed cards. But Mad Dash, yeah, but Mad Dash doesn't really change it. If Mad Dash is in the format, it's a different thing, but Mad Dash is kind of like new, right? So technically the Black Orchestra is worth it because this will have 4 credits next turn. Yeah, we'll trash the BO for sure. All right, they purge for 8. Seems good. So 11 is less than 12, which means they can't Chiashi us. They also didn't score out, which seems impactful. I think we're just going to drop the rebirth and then slam archives. I think this is a thimble rig, which is a problem because then they can, if they res the thimble rig, they can readjust DNA tracker and put that on the outermost, which is going to be a nightmare for us. We know that they just drew an ice. I forget which ice it was. So that's also, I think it was another thimble rig. So that's worth keeping in mind. So I think we'll just sit back because we have money for the remote server as long as we put this down. And we also can get down the Hippo, which seems relevant for their ability. Yeah, let's just slow game. Clip Blorch. Yeah, this is worth trashing because we had 4 credits on here. Now 7 cards left in our stack. If we were clever, we'd be able to know exactly what they are. Off the top, we have all the overclocks out. We have all the, I think we're missing 1 moshing. Labor rights are all out. Fenris is out. Breakers. Looks like we are missing 1 orchestra in the deck. This is not fun. This should be way easier. All the MK altars are out. All the Rozekis are out. Pad taps, I don't think we've seen any. Oh, are there 3 pad taps in the bottom 7? That's wild. I'm playing 5-3s for sure. 5-3s that don't aggressively defend themselves feel quite rough, which is like a problem that Netrunner's had forever. Well, not forever, but for the first like 4 years. So it's kind of good not to be in that. But I don't know. I just feel like it's such high variance. We're just like, oh yeah, 3-pointer. Well, I guess my game is over now. If I lose to single access on R&D, does not feel good as soon as turn 1. The question is, do you have to play 3-pointers or not? And like, if you're playing like System Gateway to learn to play 6-point decks, you do. So, you know, I'd rather the game be a bit longer. I think we're just gonna turning wheel here. Like we're set up. We have everything. We're just gonna bounce. No, they have to do something. I feel like we could have done that earlier, but now we've established our economy. And this is all we need. We just need a Hippo. We need 4 cards in hand. So now they've drawn through our lock. So now we actually can go ahead this turn specifically. Well, not this turn. Well, yeah, this turn. And we could see 4 cards off of R&D. That could easily be the winning agenda on top of La Costa. No, yes, because they have a seamless in hand. So reflushing HQ, reflushing R&D. We know there's a seamless in hand. We could want into seamless, honestly. Do we want them to seamless here? We have a 60% chance of wanting the seamless, or we could bounce R&D, bounce HQ, and then run turning wheel to make sure that we can see 4 cards, because if they use their ability, we just run back. What do you think is better? When I say thinking, I mean doing a public poll. But those are 2 options, I think. We could also consider running the remote server, of course. We know that this is likely to be a Chiashi, which is a problem because if they res the Chiashi and then use Ag Infusion ability, they'll be on 5 credits, which is enough to score out. And then we still have to deal with they'll probably reroute us. And then we'd have to go back and deal with Chiashi into DNA tracker. Chiashi is what, 10 strength? So that'd be 9 plus 9, 18. We can't do that twice. Now, if they res the Chiashi, we do Hippo it. Wanted Destruction is always my vote. Yeah, we could consider hippoing if they do res the Chiashi. It also just might be a Thimble Rig, which is, you know, not bad. So they could Thimble Rig, swap it with the DNA tracker, and then bump us to something, maybe? I feel like we just go R&D and hope, right? Like if this is a 3-pointer, there's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're actually on 22 agenda points. So there's 10 agenda points left probably within R&D. Seeing 4 cards seems good. They've been just clicking for cards for a couple turns. And if it's on top of an Anoetic, like, I don't know, if it's Lacosta, it's even better. But we've seen 2 Lacostas so far. Or maybe not even better, but Wanted seems wrong. Yeah, Wanted doesn't seem amazing. Seems more fun though. I think we just bounce HQ. Chiashi's 8 strength. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so 7. It's 12, 8. Okay, so it'd be 7, and then we don't need Installer Breaker. We'd be down to 11, which is enough for 8, 9, 10, 11 exactly for DNA Tracker. But then Anoetic is a problem. So I think we just do R&D. We also could like make it a proper run on HQ first and lose 2 cards, and we would still have 4 credits to run R&D. So that's also an option, is like proper run HQ. I wish we had a Maw. But we could proper run HQ and then bounce and then run R&D, run R&D. I think that's probably better. Just gives us the highest chance of winning here. Right? I'm not mistaking anything, right? Do we hippo? No. No, this is not worth hippoing. I'd love to keep the rebirth if we could. Oh, I paid too soon. Oops. Whoops. I'll give myself a credit. Shit. It's a Nancy. I don't know what this text box is meant to say, but that's no action. So we'll bounce HQ. So we know the Nancy, so this is less likely to be a Nancy. And then we'll just run R&D here. We have 16 credits, which should be enough. And the worst they can fire us into is a Hakugo. If it's a Sandstorm, that's fine. If they res something huge here, then we could consider running the remote server. All right, we have to hope. NGO front, will we trash that? Yeah. Hansei review, that's a operation. Spin Doctor, we'll trash that. Send a message, we'll win. Oh, last card. Last card there. Wow, okay, we just got there. I think they had in the remote. I'm assuming that that's either an Anoetic into well, they could score 4-2 on an Anoetic on or a Lacosta. It's more likely to be a Lacosta. I mean, sorry, an Anoetic. We've seen 2 Lacostas. But if it's a 5-3, they basically need seamless into Lacosta. Yu-Gi-Oh moment. Trading wheel OP, please nerf. Yeah, this is this is our entire early game. Just put down turning wheel. But that's actually a really big thing about this deck is like excuse me. This is one of the ways that you can easily misplay into turning wheel is having an end the run with no like penalty on the outermost of HQ R&D, because we can and we did use it to our advantage. We just bounce off of it to get the tokens and then we convert those. Ooh, nice. I only saw 1. That's amazing. So they actually had 2 seamlesses in hand. So on top of an Anoetic, which is the worst case, right? Because if it was a La Costa, they could only score with single seamless of 4-2, which doesn't win them. So they had double seamless, which... And this is a thing, like we talked a bit about this last week, but Seamless Launch is such a strong card, and we're not seeing it enough splashed outside of faction. And for 2 influence, it's probably worth doing. Like, we obviously see it in Precision Design because you can play it over and over again, and they have a great agenda suite. Thank you. I threw my early game away for turning wheel pressure. You're like a politician now, thinking equals bowling. Whatever you guys think is the right option, and I'll be there the whole time supporting you. I forgot I was behind now. It's all good. Well, thanks to the game. Hey, catch your end. Everybody playing Kakugo instead of envelope. Unban envelope. Seamlessly Contoon, yeah, exactly. Seamless is like worth about 3 credits of economy. It is an immensely powerful card, and it just changes so much of like when you think you have to interact. It's obviously immensely powerful, and I think you're going to see it more outside of other decks, especially decks that want to aggressively close the game out, which you kind of want to do that always. All right, if you're just tuning in, my name is Andre. Welcome to Metrofall Grid. If you want to subscribe on YouTube, you get notifications whenever we put out a video or go live, or if you hit the notification button on Twitch, you get a nice little poke there. Which is nice. I don't plug that enough. Probably I should. So just a bit of news. Nisei did put out a teaser on Twitter, and we talked about this at the top of the stream, that a lot of people thought it might have been like a tease for new spoilers. Unfortunately, it's not, but fortunately it is something else. We'll talk about that in a second, but if I'm not mistaken too, right now, Nisei is at PAX Unplugged, which is the board game, tabletop game version of the Penny Arcade Expo that is taking place, I believe, right now in Philadelphia, December 10th to 12th. Play that animation. Hold on. This one? Yeah, I guess that one, huh? So on Twitch's or Nisei, they actually have a chart up to show you where they are. Quality is lacking, but they are right next to somebody probably called B Turtle. You can also find Steeped Games and Good Nerd, Bad Nerd, I believe it's called. So hang out there if you want. But Nisei will be there at booth 3347. So what you want to do is you basically go into Games Workshop, keep going straight until you get to Prospero Hall, then pick up the new copy of, I don't even remember the name of the game. What is that game? American Monsters. Anywho, Horrified, got it. Our sponsors are gonna be really upset. Turn left and then keep walking until you see, I think Danny B is there. So say hi. Otherwise, there's a lot of stuff to check out here. This seems really cool. I'm definitely envious of, getting back to conventions and stuff like this would be pretty cool. But there's a lot of cool things to see in here. You have Cephalo Fair Games, Pandasaurus, who I believe is from Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. Chip Theory Games, they're the people that make what's it called? The Gearlock stuff, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's very little else that I can make out in this image. AG, say, hey, how's Doomtown? And then you scoff and you walk away. They don't do Doomtown anymore, but it seems actually like agreeable. Don't. The other thing is Random Access Memories format and tournament, and I'm confused about this. Yeah, Too Many Bones. That's the one. The Gearlocks game. So this was announced, and it's a mystery side. This is inspired by the mystery box side event at Worlds, and the idea is that Nisei is going to be holding a tournament on the 18th of December, which is the 2 Saturdays from now. Not this Saturday, but next week's Saturday. And the format for Random Access Memories will be a recurring format with a 2-week rotation. At the beginning of each 2-week period, 2 large releases and 12 data packs will be randomly determined to form the card pool for the next 2 weeks. So this is going to be a format that has a rotating card pool that's a bit different every time you engage with it. It's kind of maybe similar to Vesper's tournament where they ban certain cards. It's going to be a bit more drastic than that because it's going to be entire like cards you may not have even seen before if you've never played with Honor and Profit or original core set, stuff like that. So the 2 large releases are from all of the main releases of Netrunner, all the big boxes, System Gateway included. And then they're going to be choosing, I think, 12 data packs, but there are some data packs that are not going to be used. They're excluded from the eligible card pool and can never be drawn. Democracy and Dogma, Blood Money, Uprising, the community cards, System Core, and System Update. So not going to be happening. Now, this is where I get confused. Basically, the tournament's going to be in this format, and you can play. with these cards, which is quite neat. But the tournament, there'll be a series of tournaments run in this format, with the first one on December 18th, 2021, and the subsequent one every 2 weeks. These will be free for anyone to enter, which is amazing, as there are no prizes apart from bragging rights, but that's still really cool. And will create the opportunity for anyone inexperienced in this format to watch some of the best deck builders and playing our community solve its unique challenge. And I think that's actually a really big deal about this tournament, is that as much as play, obviously good play is going to be important, there are going to be some weeks that there is just going to be an immensely busted deck that is going to probably just take the meta or the event by storm. And I feel like this tournament does feel a lot like a deck builders tournament. Someone's going to realize there's certain interactions that are just so good within these 12 data packs and these 2 big sets that you can play something pretty cool. Obviously, it's also going to be a bit of a lower power level most of the time, because you're going to even be struggling for fundamentals. Like, there is a chance that Hedge Fund or Sure Gamble won't be available in the card pool, if I'm not mistaken. There's a chance that's going to happen. Actually, it's going to be happening more often than not, if I'm not mistaken. So sometimes you're going to see like just busted stuff that the tinkers are going to figure out, and sometimes you're just going to see, you know, people struggling to make weird cards you never see get play, which is both cool. The first tournament will be taking place on the 18th of December at 4 p.m. UTC. I do not know what that translates to in terms of Eastern. The tournament will be preceded by a live streamed draw, so it looks like they're going to live stream this. And this is also where I'm confused, and I don't know if anybody knows. Firstly, it says that the tournaments, this is worth noting, the time zones are going to alternate between US APAC and EU friendly time zones. So if this one doesn't make sense, maybe in 2 weeks it will. But I'm not very sure what this means. The tournament will be preceded. Preceded means before. If something precedes something, or is that after? Precede and proceed, in which the card pool for the event is determined. This will be followed by a 2-hour period of deck building. So it looks like it's going to be happening before, and then you have 2 hours to build your decks. So there'll be a live stream, and then you only have 2 hours. So you're going to have not a lot of time to figure this out. This is actually, I think, the coolest part of this. And to some extent, and maybe this is going to be more interesting for those who are more familiar with the card pool, because there's going to be a lot of people who have to read these cards for the first time. This seems really long. I'd honestly be interested if this was like half an hour to slap something together, but maybe at that point you wouldn't build anything too impressive, because you'd just be putting together good cards. But this reminds me of Millennium Blades, where you just have you have a limited amount of time to make something work out of the garbage they hand you, which is really cool. Registering and locking a deck list in under 45 minutes gives a bonus of 3 Swiss points. Oh, that's really cool, before the first round of the tournament. So that's very interesting. The tournament will consist of 3 or 4 rounds, followed by a top 3 cut. I do not know what a top 3 cut is. Does that mean second and third fight, and then that person fights first? I'm guessing. Anyways, head over to the Nisei Discord server, and this is really important. This is not an this is an example card pool. This isn't the card pool. So per se, on the 18th, if you tune into the live stream, they could say our 2 large releases are Gateway and Core Set. These are our data packs. Go build a deck. So that's really cool. So yeah, how's it going? Step 1, live draw for packs. Step 2, deck building. Step 3, tournament. Step 4, format legal for 2 weeks. Okay, so I think this is really, really cool. As much as I'm not a big fan always of formats which are so heavy on knowledge of what the card pool is. Anytime it's this is a tournament where it's just the card pool is this, and then it becomes very difficult for me to have that sort of recognition of when I face check, what do I have to worry about, or what are the threats, what are the win conditions. It feels like a lot of information to learn very quickly. The fact that you have to build decks in 45 minutes to 2 hours does make this a bit more interesting. I think it makes it a bit more casual, and you don't spend your whole week worrying about your deck lists and tuning and tweaking, and then you come to the event and you be like, oh, I made a mistake. This feels much more fun and raucous, and I'm kind of really into that in terms of having a meta that is of a weird set of cards. At least this, you don't have to worry about it for too long, which is, I think, quite cool. So I'm actually interested in this. I do like the 45-minute rush. I do love the 45-minute rush, giving you some time. Whether that's worth 3 Swiss points is honestly interesting. I feel for a lot of people, the last hour and 15 minutes is probably not worth not getting 3 Swiss points. So I feel like you're going to see a lot of players rush 45 minutes. I think it's cool. I feel like it plays like an MTG cube, but not a draft. Yeah, kind of closer to that, you're right. But you do get your perfect pick of cards. And you could definitely build a pretty good deck out of this, for sure. So I'm interested to see. I'm assuming it's going to be streamed off of Nisei. They said it will be streamed. They didn't say where, did they? No. So I'm assuming it's on their channel, but I'm excited to watch that. All right, queue's up. I can try to finish the FF14 story now. Enjoy. Anywho, that's all for news. It's 10:20. I wanted to play this deck. This is Sebastian K's deck that they brought to Worlds. It ended up 4-3, and it's a pretty wild deck. And I think we've seen decks like this before. I think we've seen memes before about, hey, can I play Geist? And then, you know, mom says this is what we have at home, and it's Az. Az doesn't see a lot of play. This is actually a deck that I think does really good and uses Az's ability. Because Az's ability, sometimes you sometimes can make an Az deck and just kind of a mediocre Az deck, and you don't get that much value over time from it throughout the game. Like, I've built Az decks that have made 6 credits throughout the game, and then, you know, it's not very good. And this deck really wants to build into it by playing 28 pieces of hardware, and of course we're playing all of the usual suspects here. Prognostic Q loop means we can install hardware on the opponent's turn, which counts our Az McCaffrey once per turn ability, which is obviously very good. We have Prognostic Q loop to see the top of the deck. Of course, we have Masterwork as well, so that we draw a card every time we install hardware, first per turn, including the corpse turn, which is fantastic. And my favorite thing to play is Tech Trader in 2021. Without Geist, it's just so fun to still play this card, and so much of what we have has trash cans on it. The wild thing about this deck is that we do have a Reaver in it, which we cannot tutor if I'm not mistaken. But if you get this down, you basically do become Geist. The first time, at least a turn that you trash an installed card with a trash can on it, you want to like maybe pop a spy camera on their turn after they've just about ended their turn to see the top of R&D, get your card draw, then your turn starts, pop something, get a card draw. And you have so many things that have trash cans on them. Whether it is, like we're going to look at all of them, like boomerangs, trash cans. We have flip switches, 3 of these, trash cans. We have Lucky Charms, not a trash can. We have a security chip. It's probably good to use an influence doing something else, but it has a trash can on it. 3 simul chips, really impactful because this is generally trash can into installing a breaker that has a trash can on it. That was a bad example. Has a trash can on it. Sports Hopper, Spy Camera, so many trash cans, and you're going to be drawing and going through your deck. Interesting things too is we have Clot, which I wouldn't exactly be excited to bring into the JNet casual lobby, but at the Worlds lobby, it was somewhat relevant. I think it's mostly sports metal and then some yellow decks that you really worry about fast advancing out to. You have a Fermenter, which is weird, but it has a trash can on it and you can reinstall this. Bankroll, more trash cans. And then obviously the strange thing is that we have only a single event, which is 1 Mad Dash, which is very, very good with Spy Camera. One of the cards that can really enable a strong Mad Dash deck. I feel like another copy of the back would benefit. I think there's a chance that you do want to see another copy of the back. We had the pleasure of watching Sebastian K, and I love that they call it the Greed Bop, because I believe commentators, myself included, were watching their game, and they were going for so much big money. Like, they were doing everything just to build big money, as opposed to, I feel like at some points in time in the game, and that's a thing about this deck, is like this deck does not have a good way to close the game, barring Spy Camera and Mad Dash, right? Like, maybe the security chip should have just been a turning wheel. Admittedly, maybe this deck can't run well because it needs to run with Boomerang, which in the late game when your deck is really small is actually really easy to install these clicklessly and get them through back over and over again. But like, I feel like you could, and you wouldn't be sacrificing too much of the dream to add maybe a couple events to this deck. Sure, gambles are probably fine. Again, you are going to be slow in the early game, and once you've spun up, your economy is going to depend almost entirely on Tech Trader and Tech Writer. But you don't have to be this greedy. I think you could kind of push this out to more of a mid-range deck, but it was really fun to watch. It was like a heck of a kickflip of a deck. I wonder if -1 simul chip, -1 sec chip, +1 SMC, +1 back might help with consistency and longevity. I think these are all quite good. The back is interesting. The question is whether or not the games go long enough for this to matter. And we did see some games where Az went through their whole deck, they get the back down, but the game was over before they even cracked the back. But I think self-modifying code makes a lot of sense, considering it is a trash can. It gives you a lot of flexibility with simul chip, and it lets you pull your Reaver if you need it, or your Clot if you need it, which are both very good for this deck. And yeah, security chip seems like a question mark to me. We do have 1 link. We can get more link with sports hoppers, but this just seems kind of middling. On the day, it beat Asmari, Sync, Acme, and CTM. And yellow decks are honestly sometimes very, very good matchups for this sort of thing that can stack Link, can deal with tags actually really well with cards like Flip Switch. And then you do have access to Clot if you need it for some of the things, which is actually potentially pretty strong. You also could consider you don't really need it maybe, but you could consider playing a Citadel Sanctuary if you really wanted to. It's also sometimes tricky to die to damage because Az can trigger a card draw on their turn and on the clicklessly on the corpse turn, whether it is by just sports hoppering or whether it is through like firing Masterwork and Prognostic and drawing cards by installing hardware. But I think there's a lot you can do to make this less greedy, which is really interesting. But we want to try this list as it is right now and try and build our engine because it seems really cool. This deck was so cool. Saw it against Rob CTM. I think, yeah, I think we did see it. I'm not sure who we saw it against us CTM. I think it was Rob CTM, and Rob did not have an aggressive start. Rob was really struggling, and Az had like 20 credits on the technical writer, which, you know, that's a problem. Okay, I'm going to copy this. It's 68093. So I'm just going to pull this into JNet, and then we are going to pull it into... There's some nightmares for this deck too, right? Like, nobody plays it, but they trash your resources. It's really potentially quite bad if you have like a lot of money on a tech writer, and then they score out a... What's it called? The above the law, or heaven forbid a corporate town is going to be a problem. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's an interesting shell, and we've seen this shell before, and I think it's a very exciting shell. I think a guy from my meta commented on it saying like, I've been playing a deck like this in startup, and I played against them, and the deck is really it's really fun as well. We'll see. They even recommended adding an SMC in the write-up by getting rid of Sec Chip and Clot. Okay, cool. Let's actually just do that then. The write-up is not very long. Yeah, there you go. I would suggest getting rid of security chip and Clot and self-modifying code. There's also a chance too that you could drop a simul chip and a security chip, and maybe even consider playing a Clot or whatever, and consider playing a security nexus. It might not be ridiculous. I believe if you're playing security nexus, then there's also some like reason why you'd want to run, and maybe you don't need the card job, but like at this point you become a Sunny deck, right? Like you could consider running what's it called? The one where if you make a run, you draw a card and a credit. If you have 2 link, you could consider doing that. You consider doing Jackson Clare, but a Nexus honestly wouldn't be the worst. The extra slot, I'd go for the back. Maybe. I feel like games might be over sooner than you need the back, but maybe I'm wrong. Get rid of Sec Chip and Clot and get a self-modifying code, which can get out an early Reaver for the break. Yeah, that seems really, really good. The early Reaver seems incredibly important. Masterwork seems important. Yeah, Masterwork. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. I forgot. Yeah, Nexus is a console. Masterwork is crucial to the deck, so totally ignore that. Self-modifying. This is just a recon drone for the extra slot. Lol, sick. I do not like this card in the slightest. This does very little to nothing. Prevent X damage from a card you're being accessed. So it's not something you can trigger for fun. You have to access a card. Could you pay 0? I guess so. But like Obokata, you have to pay the cost, otherwise you're not stealing it. So this basically just triggers on only snare and like advanced wall traps, which I'm not gonna be currently worried about in the meta, but you could, I guess. It works with everything else in the deck. But I think we could just play another back. The back is unique, which is a bit of a bummer in the opening hand. What else could we play? Third Lucky Charm seems excessive. Like maybe you just play extra gamble. Maybe you play even the run event, Bravado. But I don't know. I guess we could consider playing it back. I feel like there's another card in here that it's probably pretty obvious that goes in there. I just don't know what it'd be. 2x back. Yeah, 2x back is fine. Back is fine. Even if you use just back for like tempo, because you get back tokens basically no matter what if you run with Prognostic Q Loop. If you have to remember to do it yourself, which is a bit annoying, but as long as you do it yourself, you get basically to shuffle cards back into your deck, and those cards are very good cards because they all have trash cans on them, which means they'll gain you credits and draw through your deck. So, hey Dave. All right, so our openings I reckon can be pretty slow unless we draw into the good stuff. I think also an overclock wouldn't be the worst. Because we can use overclock credits to like install our breakers with Prognostic Q Loop. Like overclock is honestly probably pretty playable. Hey, thanks you too. Good night for some Netrunner. That it is. You can play a card and 4 credits to save 3 cards from snare. Same reason Whistleblower isn't really good even when it hits. Yeah. Seems more in line with the spirit of the deck than an event does. Yeah, exactly. The spirit of the deck. Yeah, we don't want events. So we have a tech writer, which gains a credit anytime we install a program or a piece of hardware. So we could jam out a spy camera simulchip, SMC, Abigail. This hand's not the worst, but like I feel like we want to get a tech trader down. We mulligan for tech trader almost, I'd assume almost all the time. Or even for a masterwork. Yeah, that'll do. We can drop the bankroll down and get some runs. This will probably be a faster game. So we might not be able to get our whole engine up because Asa can be quite aggressive. We also could put a Paul up in the list. And I think Political Operative is probably worth putting in the list too. Just because it has a trash can on it and it's very good in the meta. Love the new create game button on the deck screen. Seems like Jane is tweaking the little things. I honestly, Xrn, I don't think I noticed what that was. Yeah, I think Paul up was a consideration. Overclock is also a consideration. I think maybe I'd be more excited about any of those cards in our opening hand. Because like a Paul up here would be amazing. All right, so I think we just start hitting the Prognostic Q Loop button, right? I think we do. I think we just installed Bankroll Q Loop. Did they mull? They did. So we want to maybe consider running HQ here. If we had a Paul up, I think definitely we would. This is going to be tricky to run, but we want to see the top of our deck for sure. Yep. It's a Masterwork, fantastic. So we could pay, what is it, 3 credits? To install that, which draws a card. It's actually 2 credits with As. It's into another Masterwork, which is funny. Oh, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. This looks like it is a ganked deck. Might be a deck we saw at Worlds. Luckily, we have a flip switch, so we don't care. Good to know. Yeah, this means that we don't really care too much. Oh, no, we don't install. We should have done that on their turn because this is the first time we installed a piece of hardware and we already installed the prognostic Q loop. We made actually a pretty considerable misplay there because not only did we pay credit extra for that, we didn't get the card draw. So that's actually a really bad sequencing error. It's going to cost us a click and a credit at a minimum. So I'm going to keep that for next turn. I will draw up and just kind of eat our losses there. No, he's definitely more than half the battle. Yeah, flip switch is really good for this. It lets us panic out. Rashida in the opening. Now this deck, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the one we think it is running Brainstorm, Saisantans, and I do think it has a couple other pieces of ice, but the fact that we have 3 flip switches is one of the few ways you can deal with like a corporate troubleshooter, Brainstorm, or a ganked even you can jack out. In the top right of the deck editor is a create game button that makes a lobby with a deck selected already. Whoa, I had no idea. This is also an issue with the deck that because we don't have turning wheels or stargates or anything like that, like we can't just choose to close the game when we want, which is obviously a bit of a bummer. I think we can run first. I don't think there's anything we want to draw into that we want to get on the table before we run. Prognostic. It's a fermenter. That costs 1 to install, which we can't afford. Oh, that's a bummer. We want to get that down. Another tech trader is good. So we would need to pay 2 for that. Install hardware, so we can install this for 1 credit. I feel like it's probably not worth it at this moment. We probably just install it. But we could install this for 1 credit, which would draw a card. Then we'd be on 0 credits. We could crack this for 4, but we'd want to get these 2 down first. The sequencing here is actually quite tricky. Oh, no, thanks. Did I pay a credit for that? I'm not actually sure. Rashida. Oh, man. I feel like we want to trash that. Now we're further away from the dream. Okay. So we know we have a tech trader on the top, so we don't want to fire our Q loop. Have you done much Eternal since the move to points-based balancing system? Fail. I've played very little. I think only the first time they reevaluated it, we did. How's it going, by the way? I'd want to play more Eternal, and I think that's largely because I like noise and data leak reversal. But specifically since they like readdressed it, I haven't. Okay, it looks like ganked or a troubleshooter, which is fine, but now our interaction and our deck is actually kind of interaction based off our engines. We have no money. Awkward. And again, we're down like 2 credits, I believe, because of the Masterwork interaction that we goofed up. So why does it say we can install this? Run 0 credits. Oh, connection. Yeah, actually we can. So I think we just crack the bankroll here. It'll give us 5 credits. From there, we can consider drawing through a deck a bit more. But I don't want to click for credits while we have the bankroll. It won't draw us a card. Oh, excuse me. It's only 3 credits, right? This is 1 per, not the fermenter. Going well down under. Got the first Melbourne startup tourney ever tomorrow. Will be my first paper tournament. Fail. That's amazing. We'll install the spy camera because it draws a card, and we'll be good from here. That's really cool. Now the issue is we can't really boomerang a brainstorm. Not easily. And Geofront. Okay, round 15. We trashed a Rashida. They fired a Rashida. Chance of an agenda in HQ is actually not unreasonable. And we can always install a boomerangs clicklessly during a run. Single advance. Do we want to play the Masterwork? No. Or fire the prognostic? I don't think we do. Because we're struggling a bit. So we can install the boomerang on HQ. We could run HQ. They have 2 cards in there. The chance of them having an agenda is kind of low. I forget if this list has snare. Assuming it's a ganked on R&D, it's either a ganked or it's either a corporate troubleshooter. I think it was one or the other. We could install this on R&D. Let's look at the top of R&D, I guess. We have no reverse, so it doesn't matter that we didn't do this on their turn. It's an advanced assembly lines, okay? We don't draw a card. We should not have done that. I thought we were going to draw a card. Okay, unfortunately. Are you actually allowed to install this on top of your console now? So we could install this for 1 credit and draw a card. That's not worth doing. Drop other TT first. Yeah, we're going to drop the other tech trader. Oh, we should have dropped it before we drew. Yeah, you're 100% right. That was way wrong. I thought we were going to draw into something and then make... Yeah, no, that's not good. This comes in for free. We're really not doing much here. We'll install this, which draws a card. We have the back, which doesn't matter. And that's kind of the reason why I don't like 2 backs. It like does not help you when we need to set up. It is a card you want to get before the end of the game. Now if we install this, we're not really doing much with it. I'm just going to keep drawing. That's good. So we'll throw out 1 of each. But we can install the next turn. Yeah, we should have dropped the other one first. We kind of sort of cancels out. The flip switches are going to be good. But like we get our once per turn, as long as we're using our once per turn. At this point, we could consider using the masterwork again. We only have 1 event. And I think resources, we're looking at only 4 more in the list. No. Yeah, 4 more in the list. The problem is of like... Luckily, we got all our masterworks out, and we have 1 prognostic. So the chance of whiffing is kind of low. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pay 1. Install bankroll, yeah. Unfortunately, not a hardware. So that actually is not great for us. We can always clicklessly draw 2. What did they even do? It's another NGO front? Okay. Ah, now we don't have a technical rater down? I feel like that ordering was also really bad. We should have waited to get a credit on here. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, we'll figure it out. So we want to install a thing. Sports upper for 2 is a bit expensive. We'll get this down because it's free, and we'll get this down. And then, luckily, they're not scoring out quickly. If they were scoring out quickly, we'd have a problem. They're only on 16 credits as well. Which means if they res a brainstorm, they don't have that much. Ooh, if that purged, we'd be in a bad spot. It's okay, you're learning the deck. Yeah, no, there's a lot of tricky interactions. We actually probably should have considered hitting the masterwork button. Okay, so if we install this, it's 2 credits and draws a card. And if we crack it, it is 3 cards and 2 credits. I think we're going to do that. Oh, another tech trader. Is it worth clicking for a credit to put that down to gain a credit? No. Okay, now we're in business. We've installed a piece of hardware. Huh. So we'll keep 1 hardware in hand for next turn, but now we have an engine. And now we just need to see the top of the deck. The problem is if we do see something, like we don't know how to get through it. Like we have no idea. We know they have advanced assembly lines in hand. I don't know if they have real 3-pointers. But like we are just building an engine. And that's the thing is like just having a sure gamble in the deck stops some of this awkwardness. I'm like, how do you run this? We have to like basically get them down to low credits. I'm so not used to using this and not drawing a card. It's a vanilla. Honestly, kind of a nightmare. This will draw a card. Lucky Charm doesn't really matter too much. Running HQ doesn't seem reasonable considering they've been drawing up. We just installed a hardware. We could have considered putting down the back first, just because it would have actually used our ability. Because we paid 0 on this and doesn't really do anything. I just don't know what would we use our money for. Like if we could crack this, we get 9 credits, but like, por qué? Drawing last click is not good. We should not put that bankroll down probably. Let's get rid of that. Yep. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Luckily though, we have a click here for 7 credits. Second back feels bad. Yeah, I don't like second back. Back is not something you install until you need to. Double install, probably in advanced assembly lines. Brainstorm, okay. We know the 1 card in the hands of vanilla, so that has to be advanced assembly line, so we don't really have to run it. Silent chip is good. It gets us access to nothing really, but it allows us to clicklessly get credits. Copper's K, wanted to say you did great during Worlds, my friend. Just dropping by, need to get some rest. Yo, appreciate it. Thank you. That's very kind. Get your rest if you can. But yeah, Worlds was a lot of fun. It's an absolute treat. Okay, so we just have to find our breakers. And because we don't have an early Reaver, we don't have an SMC, like we're just not drawing aggressively. We have 2 more Sports Hoppers in the list. That don't do it. That don't do it. We're just gonna draw and throw out stuff. That don't do it. So now they get advanced assembly lines in. I don't know what they do. What is our killer? It is a big altar. Okay, so we actually have to pay. But like not having the clickless card draw has been really no, of course. Not having clickless card draw has been actually a real bummer. Maybe at this point, because we do have like, you know, 2 tech raiders and the tech trader, we should just be hitting the masterwork button. The problem is like if we install I guess we don't have to, but we could pay 1 for the clicklessly draw. So it's advanced assembly lines. If they want to use this, they can install a non-agenda card. And again, ASA gets you 2 installs basically for your first install turn if you do it right. So that's an ice on HQ. No double ASA, but that means they can put something on the remote server. All right, I'm just gonna believe in the prognostic Q-loop button because I never believe in it, but this is like our clickless setup card that we probably should have been hitting a lot, especially when we have all this money offshored. Last click draw, okay. Sports Hopper, that's how you do it. Because that's card draw. We want to install a hardware every turn, and that's a really good way to do it. So start turn, yeah, why not? Perhaps there's an ID that drew a card when he had a trash can. Don't worry, we'll build it, we'll build it. Okay, so 11 cards on our stack. It's all of our breakers, our self-modifying code, and our Reaver. And we're at the point where like the back is actually necessary. This will install a draw card. Send a message is important. Can we run R&D with 9 credits and no breakers? Honestly, Brainstorm is a problem because we have 1 billion cards in hand. We can't. We have access to no breakers. We can hit off the top with Prognostic. We're gonna run. Prognostic. Look at tap 2, it's a Mackler, so we can deal with barriers. That's not likely going to be a problem, but we can install a Boomerang. If it is a Saisentan, that's fine. It's a Cobra. Oh, sick, Boomerang, sick. So ganked is only slightly an issue. We're just going to make sure we access the deck before we access the upgrade. Unfortunately, though, that if we do interact with this again and flip switch and jack out, we are not going to get the Boomerang back because the run ended. So we'll make sure we access the top of the deck first, which is send a message. They have 3-pointers, so we could actually mad dash our way out. They get red something for free. What even is this remote? So it's ganked, corporate troubleshooter. I think there's also the 0-cost card that says we can't install cards from our heap, which is potentially problematic. Oh, it's a virus suite. Wow, huge bluff. Okay. Cool. So we definitely want to get one of those down. I guess we'll do this order, which we could have considered reordering that earlier. Oh, we could have got the back down as well. Well, with 11 cards, I think the game will be over before the back is entirely relevant. A deck runs signal jamming. Yeah, gank troubleshooter and CVS. So signal jamming is the one. Advance is Illuminal? No, they're just trying to win, which is a problem. Because what was under the Mackler? Oh, we shuffled. It doesn't matter. Do they have a way to punish you for running with 0 cards in hand to blank Brainstorm? I wonder. No, they don't. Besides, like, well, Saisentan, stuff like that. So we basically need to top deck into Mad Dash. So Lucky Charm, we can't install that. Oh, we can. Draw the card. Oh, it's still a Mackler. Okay. Okay, so we have to get as many accesses as we can. Do they run a singleton price deck? I don't think I remember that from the list. So we can clicklessly run R&D, see the top 2 cards with Prognostic Q-Loop, Boomerang through this, get a single access. It's the best we got. Again, we have no multi-access in this list besides this single Docklands Crackdown, or Docklands Pass, excuse me, that we played. Docklands Crackdown. We have a surprisingly bit of money. These are clicklessly 5 credits. So I'm going to just run R&D. We really need or send a message to have a big chance here. Bagalter Abigail. Whoa. those are all the breakers we need. I still think we need a shuffle here. Because we need to find a Reaver, or we need to find 1 and 9 our Mad Dash to have a chance. I don't think we install those. Right? Well, this draws one. So we actually could get a... Bagalter deals with code gates? Does this list have any code gates? And if we find an agenda here, if it's send a message, we have to steal it. Oh, we could have looked at the top of the deck. This is still the right thing to do. Shuffle. If we don't shuffle, we know the top of the deck, which we could install clicklessly. So I don't think we shuffle. Because we're just looking for our win. But they're gonna win. That's the issue. It's like they win here. Unless we can deal with this remote server. I didn't even consider what do we need to deal with this remote server. What do we need to deal with this remote server? Thinking. We want to get cards out of our hand, which is tricky. Because what was on top of the deck? It was a brainstorm, okay. So cards in hand. Vanilla is a possibility here. We actually cannot deal with the vanilla unless we get the Mackler from hand, which is a very expensive card. If we could get our Mackler thrown out, that would actually be better for us because we could simul chip it in cheaper. So one of the things you could consider doing is going down to 5 cards and then eating the brainstorm. Right? Like, oof. There's a second brainstorm, it doesn't do anything. I think we eat the brainstorm here. Question is if there's a price deck or not. If there's a price deck, having the recon drone actually would have been impactful, if I'm not mistaken. But here we could run the remote server. I don't think we have to worry about the end of the run here. But there's 16 credits, right? So if it is a Saisentan, we have to deal with that. So that's a reason to get them a Bagalter, but they can boost its strength immensely. We can out boost them if we like crack technical writer, we could like crack a technical writer for 15. And then we have like 5 cards on this, 5 cards on this, and the Mackler. And then we have to access this first and then start accessing their horrible upgrades. And then whatever they bounce us into, we flip switch. I think we can do this. If you eat the brainstorm, you're going to face it a second time with a ton of strength. Yeah, but if we do, we flip switch it, right? Like, I think that's fine. I think the line of play is get down the Bagalter just so we deal with Saisentan. Oh, but then the vanilla eats us. But we know the vanilla would have to be this card. If you hit brainstorm, you're dead because of gank. No, we flip switch it. We just flip switch it. We'll be fine. So I think we have to just hope there's no vanilla. Because if we install both of these, like, we're in a bad spot. Like, okay, it's likely that this is a vanilla if I'm not mistaken. This deck could have a deuce as wild in it. No, influence. We have to, I think install Mackler's wrong because we can't deal with Saisentan. Because Floof, if we eat the brainstorm and there's a Saisentan behind it, we lose. Well, we don't lose, we flip switch, which then if they score out, we lose. So I think we install Bagalter. We put the clicklessly and attach the boomerang onto here. We hit technical writer for 15 and we go. Yeah. With green card, you have clone chip? Yeah, but they have signal jamming, so you can't clone chip. They have signal jamming where we are unable to use simul chip if they signal jamming. So I'm gonna do this. I think this is right. Okay. 2 vanillas were done, and there's not a 0 chance of 2 vanillas. I'm just gonna put my head here. Of course. This now we put it on them. It's up to them to mess up horribly like we might have right here. But 2 vanillas is a problem we can't deal with. I don't think they're on the yellow grid that stops us from using non-breakers. If they are, it's obviously a problem. But like we have a fair bit of credits. Like this is a greedy deck. We have 27 credits. Like we're gonna be okay. And again, we have to access the agenda first, and whatever they ganked us into, we just flip switch it. And we probably have Managarm credits too. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. We also do know the top of our deck is a decoder. Is there tin foil in there? I hope they move the influence around to run an NOA. There's like no way. If they do, we'll feel pretty bad about Lucky Charm, but yeah, we do have access. Remember, oh yeah, we didn't shuffle, so we have a code gate on top of our deck. Only once per turn. We haven't used this. Navi Mumbai Grid would be a well-earned bad beat. Navi Mumbai is just a terrible beat for this deck in general, so not much we can do about it. But yeah, it would be horrible. It's a region that says you cannot use paid abilities on not icebreakers during the run. So no boomerang. You can't bankroll simulchip SMC. Just basically the whole deck doesn't work. But I think we're okay. I think we might be fine. It's just double. I think the worst case is just 2 vanillas, which is really funny, honestly, considering how scary some of the ice is in this list. I just don't know the full read there. Like, there's a signal jamming. There's probably 2 ganked and then 1 corporate troubleshooter. Corporate troubleshooter is the one that they really have to think about. And the fact that they're pausing this long, what makes me think there's a corporate troubleshooter. Also, if we just force them to spend enough money, like they probably can't score out. They don't have seamless. If it's a 5-3, right? Like it's a good one. It's some money, yeah. Man, I love these numbers being so much bigger. That is a nice change. But yeah, this deck is quite greedy. We know the top of the deck is not like a subliminal. It's another brainstorm. And like if they don't boost into this heavily, like we can still consider breaking it. But honestly, I think we do. Oh, shit. Okay. They paid 9 for this. Okay, so the paperclip is going to be potentially a problem. Well. I think we take 2 brain damage. Because if we lose our Mockler, we're okay unless they signal jamming it. Oh, no. We boomerang this and we break it, right? Because this gives us money. Yeah, if they're not going to boost it, we might as well break it. Not a vanilla. If it's a vanilla, well, if it was a vanilla, we could consider taking some brain damage to get the Mockler, but I'm pretty sure they have signal jamming, so I don't know. But if it's a vanilla here, we lose. Hoping for the best. I'm pretty sure, because we know they have a vanilla in hand. I thought it was this one. Okay. Just gonna continue through this. The big Sai Santana honestly is potentially scarier because if they boost the Sai Santana, it has a chance of being lethal. We can't really clicklessly draw during the turn. Okay. Send a message, we'll take it. We're on game point, so we no longer need. There is a Sai Santana, okay. At this point, we want to access, it really doesn't matter the order. If they hit a ganked, we just bounce out. So we'll just start accessing things. It's a ganked. So that'll eat a flip switch. Brainstormer position 3. I think we're just going to head and flip switch this to gain 3 credits. Prevent the run from ending? We can't do that. Wait, what? Wait, you can... Flip switch can stop you from jacking out? No, it can't. There's no way. Can you jack out with flip switch and prevent it from ending with Lucky Charm? The run's still considered successful, of course. That's amazing. Okay, so we're going to install our program off Prognostic, and then we'll have 2 new cards. Oh, no, we shuffled. Okay, so we'll still hit the Prognostic button, obviously. But we got 2 of the 3-pointers, so they might have to score 2 more agendas from this point. And we have a spy camera set up. I honestly don't know if if they're on the full spin doctor suite. But we want to get our programs done ASAP, that's for sure. So I'm going to do this first, I guess. Advanced assembly lines, okay. We'll use this. Install spy camera, yep, draws a card. It's a Reaver. Lucky Charm says Corp, right? Oh yeah, it says Corp card, yeah, you're totally right. That is a very important subtlety. Jaina must assume everything that fires the end of the round immediately functions as a Corp card. Yeah, I think you're right. They probably do shortcut it. All right, well, we know the top of the deck is an advanced assembly line, so we could run and just to get the prognostic Q loop to get everything to trigger. I think it's probably worth installing the Reaver. MU is actually going to be an issue, but we don't want to keep these around forever. So we can run this, trash the assembly line, run back, or we can, at that point, spy camera. I think we do want to get the back down to this point. Probably, yeah. Because our spy cameras are how we win. So we'll get the back down. Then we'll run R&D. Just came back. Yo, cat, this is hurting me. This is board state. Yo, it is so greedy. Prognostic key loop. Log the top 2 cards of stack. It's a boomerang into a simul chip. Okay. So then we've technically used the back. Install hardware. We will clicklessly install one of these to draw a card. It's a boomerang. So now it's a simul chip on top of the deck, which we will gladly pay 1 to install. This is a problem for them. It's free. We'll trash the assembly lines. We'll go back for 2. I don't think we'll spy camera. We're just going to run back. We do want to get our mockler down at some point. Prognostic is first time a turn, right? Yeah, install hardware. Honestly, I don't think we need to. Whatever. Whatever. We have 19 credits on this. We'll be fine. Man, this deck is silly. Okay, so we pay 2. Access unknown. Hedge fund, okay. We know, I think only the vanilla in hand. We could consider running HQ at some point. The flip switches are obviously very good. At this point, we could consider getting down our Mackler just to give us that click compression that we crave. I think that's fine. And we know the top of the deck is a simul chip, so we want to do that in their turn. Okay. Okay. Our head lives here now. You can boomerang the Cobra to make money repeatedly. Yeah, no, yeah, we totally can. It shuffles our deck too, which we can see the top of prognostic and see what they want. They've drawn an unknown. Still haven't seen a Spin Doctor upgrade. Ice seems good. Money runner over here. So we're gonna do prog. Install simul chip. Draws a card. We have our Aeneas, which we actually can like use this to trash to get through a code gate. We haven't seen any yet. We'll look at the top of the deck. It's a signal jamming. This is the one that we're worried about. Cards cannot be installed until the end of the run. So that actually prevents, as long as they pre-res it, which is actually very difficult, it stops us from using Masterwork when a run begins. So I don't think you'd have to pre-res it. Like they should just pre-res it here and it stops us from signal jamming, for boomeranging in with Masterwork, if I'm not mistaken, which is a pretty neat interaction. Okay. I think we'd consider running HQ here, if anything. We just want to get all our breakers down. So we have to pop one of these. I think we'll just pop this one. Oh, Reaver. Yeah, we don't need the Reaver card draw, do we? Don't die to snare seems important. Yeah, don't die to snare seems good. There's still sports hoppers in our deck. I guess we draw, run last. Like if we install this, we draw a card, which means, yeah, we just run here. Install this, we draw a card, so we don't die to snare. Run HQ. Prognostic. Look at top 2 will be a mad dash. Okay. Event. Sub-muffin code. So we'll draw the mad dash, which is not relevant. So we'll install the boomerang. We'll put it on one of these. Order doesn't really matter. We've used the back. So vanilla, we will break that. There's no window where signal jamming can prevent Masterwork installed. If they pre-res it before the run, they can, right? Like if they just pre-res it in their remote server, then we can't use it. But you're right, you can't respond to it. We'll break that, which will shuffle our deck, which means that, I forget the next card what it was. I think it was a self-modifying code or something. Or the, yeah. Oh, another vanilla. Okay, that's 2 credits. It's actually taxing. Just kidding. And we don't have our, we'll never be able to get our Docklands pass back. That's a brainstorm, we knew that. Shuffle that back in. So we do really want, actually, we do want to consider, oh, we can't shuffle the second back in. That's a problem. So sports, in terms of cameras, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could consider popping this to shuffle in 2. I thought this was twice as many. Shuffle up to X cards. X is double the amount. Okay, so it would be 4. Yeah, we could consider shuffling that in. We do have sports hoppers left, which we wouldn't mind drawing into. We shuffle our deck, so prognostic is going to be unknown. I'm just going to hit the money button. I don't think there's any reason to not gain 23 credits. Like at this point, we can literally pay for Carpet Troubleshooter. They need to wait for the first ice approach on to be able to trash signal jamming. Oh, because they have to trash it. Excuse me. Yeah, you're right. I thought it was just like a constant ability, but they have to trash it. Yeah, so yeah. That's work triggers when the run begins before the first paid ability window. Okay, so it looks like they can't respond to it. Now we just need a win. Ooh, good game. I was scared there. Takes a while to spin up, but it's really rough to ganked into flip Swisses. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, wow. We had 91 credits gained, but we have another 15 here. This is 9 credits. This is going to be another like 9 credits. It's absolutely massive once we set up, and now we do everything super cheaply. Definitely a big credit earning engine for sure. So we could consider playing a pull up. I think it would have been fine. I don't like the second back that much. You can't recur it, so you generally always throw out the first one. Only the way to win is to go super fast. I hope you don't find your breakers. I think you just jam. I'm scared of everything. I didn't get an early reaver, nor did I trigger prognostic enough. Wasn't. Yeah. Well, there's a big chance an unbroken, what's it called? Sison Ton is lethal. I spelled that wrong. Yeah. Yeah. Next game. This list is cool. Cheers. Just gonna crack this. There we go. 45 feels good. All right, we'll do another one. Oh, actually, we'll change the deck list. Well, we'll take the back out. Is there anything else that maybe works better with the back? Like, I feel like SMC is obviously very good. Even if you crack this, sometimes just to install something from your deck, like it's tempo positive generally, if you have the reaver at least. But I feel like a pull up is probably just good enough. It's obviously not a hardware, which is annoying. You'd want that. You could also consider miss bones, but like it feels like once you're spun up, it's not relevant. So you need to draw the miss bones early if you want to deal with assets. But I feel like a lot of times you just don't want to deal with the assets. Ooh, the notes. That's actually really cool. That's really smart. So you're saying that we can just create a game from this? Oh, wow, you can, but I can't. I don't know why. It looks like they're working on it. All right, we'll do another one. Black file? Black file is a possibility. The issue with black file is that we can't recur it. And if we draw it early, we're not playing it. So there's gonna be a lot of turns where it's like, one of the most important things we have to do is like set up quickly. And having a black file in your opening hand, what? Of course not. Is like one of the worst things you could do. So I don't know. It just seems greedy. It seems really, really greedy. Maybe it's good because if they rush us out, it's a problem. But like at that point, like I would rather consider playing Diversion of Funds or something like that to slow the game down. Black file's not connection, right? It's just virtual. Sure, Gamble would have been better than the second black file in the last game. Yeah, for sure. And you just saw like once our economy is good, we're good. But before that, we struggle. So here we can install Tech Trader. We don't have what's it called? Masterwork, which is obviously very important for the card draw. They're playing Sports Metals. We took the Clot out of the list. So for Sports Metal, we have to give up on our dream. Like we just have to get as many accesses as quickly as possible. We have no tricks for Sports Metal. We have no multi-access. This is going to be really bad for us if this is just an aggro Sports Metal. The best thing we had for this sort of meta, and if you wanted to deal with worlds, like that's why the list has Clot, is Clot. But we don't have Clot. We took it out of the list to play SMC. So for this list, what do we want? We have no diversion. We have no way to slow them down. We have no disruption. So the best thing we can ask for is actually like an early Reaver or an early Masterwork. So I think I'm actually going to mulligan this because the Abigail is useless. The Prognostic is not bad, but we have 3. The Lucky Charm is useless. We're trying to high roll this. It's actually probably very possible that we get into a worse hand. But I feel like against Sports Metal, we need to high roll into a better hand. Nice Chrome, but mine's better. Time to prove it. Yeah, honestly, that's probably equivalent, if not slightly better, because the Tech Writer is actually a fair bit of economy, albeit a bit too slow. We still wanted a Masterwork there any day of the week. I wonder if this is just like the PD in Sports Metal shell, which I believe came up last week, which for that we can go a bit slower. But Sports Metal could be quite strong. Like we can't interact with Audacity in any way. This doesn't look like Sports. They're just going. They're just going. Okay, so it's Iqua or food. I don't know what more people prefer. Docklands and hope to get a first turn 5-3. Yeah, actually, Docklands would be a very good thing to mulligan into. Ooh, they drew last click. We can maybe get away with that. So I think we just do, we start with Prognostic Q loop. It's going to just basically set us up. We can run HQ here. I don't know what this is. Usually it's just a 1-3 that charges them. It's a Sports Hopper at the top of the deck, which honestly is probably worth paying 3 with the Tech Trader. We don't draw a card though. They drew last click. It's a Jeeves. Okay, so it looks like there's just fast advance. We can't afford to trash that. We could actually put the Technical Writer down first. That's probably a mild misplay. Yeah, I consider that to be a misplay. So we can install these two. And then the Technical Writer is kind of akin to the Tech Trader. But we can install the Tech Trader for free next turn. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we should have got that down first for sure. Iqua's rather good versus Adam, which is strong right now. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So the Jeeves in hand. We don't really look at the top until it's relevant, which means if they have less than 2 credits or we have a Boomerang in hand, because a single piece of ice will be an issue. Gatekeeper will be really bad. Drafter's okay. They don't really have much to recur with it, but Gatekeeper would be really bad. Hagen is also like kind of annoying. It will trash our any of our bankrolls or our... That virus card is also really interesting. I don't know if it's necessary. For 2 influence, the virus card is obviously very good because it has a trash can on it. You can recur it. But I feel like that's another 2 influence that's probably pretty flexible in the list. It's definitely not integral into the deck. It's another program, which is nice too, Prog. I think they forgot to start a turn trigger. Oh, undo click. Yeah, so you do have to do any of your started turn triggers before you mandatory draw. Obviously I don't mind here, so we're gonna do it, but you want to res and fire Rashida. Yeah, okay. So last click we'll put down this, which is in the play area. So do it up now. Gotta do it up now. Cool. So that's obviously a huge start. I did not expect that to be Rashida out there. Obviously we would want to trash the Rashida, but a lot of these times this deck will put out like an early Mega Pre or an early whatever that one that gives you 3 credits calls. I never remember the name. No big deal. If it's something like a Nico too, I think Maryland's are actually more common right now, and that's fine too. We'll let that roll. A Bast Chiraboga might actually be worth destroying. If they get an early Luminal, it's quite bad. But now they have a lot of cards in hand. We don't know any of them. But they'll probably be able to even fast advance out from this point. I don't think they want Audacity with 9 cards. Maybe they'll ice up HQ and like put 2 things on the table. It's not unreasonable. But we need a Masterwork stat. So we're going to use the Prognostic, install a Sports Hopper, then we'll install a Tech Trader for free on our turn, and then we'll pop off from there and see how it goes. We should have had 1 more credits on Technical Writer that last turn. I keep forgetting that this isn't a connection. It always feels like this should have been a connection because you see a person on it, and it says writer as a singular. That always got me. It would have been a huge benefit to like those off-campus apartment like Geist decks back in the day. This deck is the closest to what old Shaper decks used to be. Yeah, it feels like you can actually play, I think, Daoji in a lot of those old Shaper decks that run like Kongomato, Gabali, Technical Writer, Tech Trader. Like that's all still legal. You lose Haley, of course, which is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, it's I think it feels a bit more like Geist. But yeah, they're very similar beasts. There you go, double. They red leveled for triple install. Okay, so this is actually something we can deal with. I'm going to install this for 3 credits because we install it -1 on their turn. So install the trader. We'll draw. Okay, early back. Probably not going to be necessary in this matchup. They have 9 credits. We do have a Boomerang. We can put the Boomerang on here and check server 3. We probably should have server 2 as Jeeves. I think we want to do. My knowledge of Shaper is entirely based on World's 2017 meta. Yeah, Spy Camera Haley was like a very powerful deck for like a summer. It used to be the most popular meta deck, but only for like a month and a half. It was really weird. It was very miserable to play against too, though. Like if they got spun up, like it was very hard to deal with them. So we can install this for 2 credits on here. Yeah, whatever. I'm not sure what's in here. Like it's hard to get a read here. If it's a Jeeves, it's really bad. This still gives us a prognostic trigger, and like we can pop this to gain a credit, so it's not the end of the world. So it's spy camera to spy camera. That's not bad. We still haven't found a masterwork, which would have been a fair bit of a draw at this point. They might not res that, honestly. It keeps us off money. Oh, wow. Okay. So if they pop that, it strands our boomerang. But border control is... This looks like it is the PD version. And they can still pop it in theory to strand a boomerang. That's the one I was thinking, Hyperloop. So Hyperloop is interesting, but I'm surprised by these border controls. That's not common. They get 3 credits. They can also gain 2 or draw 2 off their ability. Server 2 still looks like a Jeeves. I'll shuffle that back in. They drew 2. So I think we actually want to go HQ here. I'm going to use the prognostic Q loop. Oh, fuck. We shuffled. It was a tech trader. Oh, shit. I totally forgot that we shuffled. We should have used it before the run was successful. That is just throwing a credit away. That is so unfortunate. I'm going to go HQ. They drew a bit. We want to find that 5-3. We're seeing Audacity. It's Spin Doctor. Can't even trash it. Bummer. There's the Jeeves. Okay, good. So they probably triple install here. We'll get there. We'll get there. I gotta remember what shuffles and what doesn't. We also could have considered drawing once. It means that we have a better prognostic Q loop trigger, but at this point it's like very difficult because like the chance of us finding something that we can afford to install would have to be a 1 credit install. We actually might want to consider taking the Jeeves down. Admittedly, going to be very difficult, but if we do take the Jeeves down, they can't score out a 4-2 from here. And it looks like they're not on like the blame changer list. Yeah, I don't know. This is obviously becoming an issue. So we'll draw in here for the tech trader. We probably want that. It's free. Why not? I just missed the card draw. Like the difference between having a Reaver and not having a Reaver or a Masterwork or not Masterwork is such a problem. I think you mulligan for the Masterwork more than anything. I think we want to go for a run. Yeah. Server 4 is likely a Spin Doctor, which means that our spy cameras get a fair bit worse. If they have an agenda, probably goes into server 3. I think we have to draw here. Ugh. Oh, this is rough. Do we just pop our technical writer? No, we probably pop a spy camera just to keep our economy going, yeah. It's a hedge fund. Not the most common card in these lists. And I think we've already installed a card, so I think I'm going to just draw here, but this seems really bad. That's important. Okay, so now we can get this down, and once we get this down, we're much more willing to prognostic every turn. Yeah, there is the Spin Doctor. There is that before start a turn, which in theory, I don't think there's any reason to do that. You might as well see what you mandatory draw before you res the Spin Doctor. Unless you're resing the Spin Doctor to shuffle back in, so you mandatory draw one of these, but I don't think you would do that on this board state. So everything I'm worried is an agenda. Again, they can score out a 4-2. It's going to be a while before we can always like crack this and then deal with this. But like we're going to be okay now. Once we get this Masterwork down for a credit, it draws a card. Then we can install this. We're not going to draw a card because this is first prime time per turn, but we just need to keep a modicum of credits so that we can trigger this every turn. I wonder if they play the hedge fund here. Install double advance. Whoa, okay. Double advance. If they scored an Ikawa, we're pretty happy with that. Double advance, that's wild. They have to throw out 2 cards here. They do have a Spin Doctor. I wonder if we can test the Spin Doctor. A horrible thing here is that they can like score out a 5-3 and then Jeeves install a card on their remote server and like continue the train going and throw with Jeeves. I think we have to take the Jeeves down. But that means we have to deal with the Spin Doctor first. Otherwise, let's shuffle the Jeeves back in. We don't want that. Discard 2. So I think we will install. I think we just run Spin Doctor, click 1. Reaver. Oh, that seems important. That seems really good. Oh, they're going to let us trash that. Oh, thank God they didn't. We couldn't afford it. All right, so they're going to shuffle 2, and that's good. So if we install this, we get the Reaver. The Reaver is really important. It costs 2, and that means that we actually do have an engine now. And then from this point on, like, I do think, unfortunately, we have to install, I think we just have to hit the technical writer and then trash the Jeeves. So this is going to be 6 credits, which is good. Obviously, it's a lot more money in the future if we continue to hold on to it. But I think we'll be okay. I think we just need to keep this board down. Oh. No, I don't think we do that. I don't think we do that, do we? It says this click compression. I guess then when we're committing to installing the simul chip next turn, that's actually fascinating. Because we can pay 1 credit, or technically 2 credits to install simul chip, 1 credit for this. It doesn't really do much. It gets it on the table. Like, do we pay a credit to save a click? That means at that point we're committing to install the simul chip next turn, which is not very relevant. I think we install this next turn just to draw a card. Oh no, but we install that for free. Yeah, why not? Yeah, this is fine. We can always pop this to C2. And if they score out, they actually, if this is like a Iqua or a food, they'll be on low credits, and then we could consider like actually taking a card off the top of R&D. Man, if this is just a 4-2, not gonna be good for us. Oh, wow. Well, is this hard-hitting news? Are they gonna HHN us? They might just be a hard-hitting news deck, honestly. Yeah, we might just get cheesed here by hard-hitting news. But why would they pop that immediately, right? Like, are they going to install advanced event something in the remote server? We could always crack this to gain 2 credits, but it doesn't really help much. We could crack this and then prognostic with the money we have left over. Maybe we hit potentially a flip switch, which deals with the tags amicably. I'm worried the fact that they just popped that. Oh, they're drawing. Why did they pop that though? Like, you only want to pop that if you need to pop that. Hedge funds, I think we're getting hard-hitting used. HHN doesn't play border controls. You don't think you can do all? 3 friend, 6, 79. So if you play a border control, it's 3. Hard-hitting news, you can play all. Okay, good. All right, we live. Let's look at the top of the deck. It is a tier. I don't have a read on anything anymore. Don't know what anything is. Oh, we had a reaver. Why did we crack that? Ah. Gonna do it. Flip switch. Yes. Nice. Okay, cool. Wow, we had a tier and we cracked that? That's bad. Oh, man. Sequencing this deck is so absurdly important, and we're not doing a great job. So tiers on top, they have 5 cards on hand. They were cheated and they didn't score an agenda. I think there's an agenda in HQ. Do we install a boomerang to go down to 1 credit? We draw a card, which is nice, and then check HQ. Yeah, probably. We're only weak to some biroids. I think we also consider getting the Reaver down. We can't afford it. Masterwork to draw, I guess. Okay. So we're 2 credits. We actually could install the Reaver and run HQ. That would draw a card, gain 2 credits. Yeah, that's fine. We can't afford to use Masterwork. Top 2 cards of stack. It's a Masterwork into Masterwork. Okay, so the shuffle will be here fine. They play Gank then. I think you're right. They play Gank, which is fine. We have Flip Switch. Like, Flip Switch saves us against all the HB Gank decks we've been playing all night. All right. Yeah, so I'm assuming they have like Drafter and on Cell 1.0 loops. Yeah, there you go. Good. So we'll break all that. We'll gain a card and 2 credits. 2 tech traders early is good. Still 29 cards left to go through. And we have 2 credits for Iqua and a click, which is good if they're on the Iqua. They might be on send a message if they're running bigger stuff. All broken. We get single access here. Oh, no, I broke it. I boomeranged it. Hold on. Wait. I broke the ice. That shouldn't have fired. Yeah, they fired it. Hello? Owen? Hey. Hey, hello? Hey? I don't know if they see the chat. Does it indicate actually make a sound? Elwin? You there? Did they DC? Did I DC? I don't think I DC'd. I don't want to leave. It looks like the chat's going through. Hello? Is anyone there? Help? I don't know what to do. I don't want to breach the server. Because you gain information. I'm going to access the Jeeves they put back. Obviously, that's bad. They also might have offshored an agenda. Hello? Hey? Did they DC? Because there's no way. Oh, this is awkward. So how's everyone doing? We've reached a standstill. This has never happened before. Did they disconnect? Is JNet still up? It looks like it. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Yo, Camon, how's it going? It's going okay. We hit an awkward situation here. Oh, they're back. It's going good. We're playing this like really interesting, very greedy, very fun Aztec that we saw at World. It's really fun. It's like rebuilding an old thing. Oh, no worries. I'll just undo. Click. That makes more sense. They didn't auto scroll. How are you doing, Cameron? That makes more sense that the chat didn't scroll. Yeah, I should put everything back. Okay. I could have installed that clicklessly. Actually, no, we didn't have the money. Yeah, it does everything for you. So masterwork, continue movement. Yeah, we'll just undo click. Janet has. I'll look at the list. Good job commenting worlds. Oh, thank you, Camel. That's very kind. Glad you watched it. It's a lot of fun. Okay, I'm breaking it. No, obviously we know this is an upgrade, so we didn't really learn much, but we learned that there was something from hand they wanted to get in the remote server. So hopefully an agenda. It's a hedge fund. Bummer. Okay. The magic of JNet. Oh, it's really good. Undo click is a huge button. I like how it's not a button too. Like you can't just get the best out of it. Okay, so from this point on, we've shuffled our deck, so we don't know the top. This might sound like sacrilege, but I'm kind of considering clicking for credit. Kind of. For what it's worth too, we can also like trash our Reaver to install our Reaver with Simulchip and draw a card in 2 credits on their turn. I think though we probably install spy cameras so that we can trigger it on their turn. So that we can trash our Reaver on their turn. Like it's important to get the Reaver trigger on their turn. The other option would be to use I run through the chat not scrolling. Yo, Honey Tea, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know why it happens. Sometimes when you click off, it just doesn't. I wish it told you or something like that, because it's a real bad time when you're commentating or you're streaming. But the question is how to trigger this Reaver. I think honestly, like with the value we're getting from breakers, we should install the Simulchip and then just trash the Reaver to cycle the Reaver. Oh, but then you wouldn't draw from the Reaver. Yeah, that seems like that's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna install this. You can't control time by pressing a button. We only have to use text commands to turn back time. Yeah, that's called wizardry. You have to learn the magic spell to turn back time. Or I guess witchcraft too. Wizardry seems like a gender exclusive term. All right. They have a hedge fund in hand. They have a tier in hand. I think that's all we know. They have a Jeeves in archives and something in their hand that they can install on remote server 3. Now, in terms of breakers, we do have a Mockler, which does get through the border control for 2 credits, but 5 up front, it's not a cheap breaker by any means. Second draw, deeper into the unknown. And with 2 credits, I don't know. Do we prognostic on their turn? I guess we hit the spy camera first to gain 2 credits, and then we can prognostic and probably eat the 1 credit. Sports Hopper would be nice. They're still in 0 gen points. There's a hedge fund. Okay, so we're going to look at the top of the stack. It's a Rashida. Ooh, another tech trader is good. We will hit this button. It's a spy camera. That will draw a card. Oh, triggers for days. Now we do have a boomerang, but we know that we do have the spy camera to deal with this. So on top of the deck was a Rashida, on top of R&D. If we install hardware here, we draw a card. I do feel like we would want to consider doing that. Getting the tech trader down also seems nice. We want to trash a card as well this turn to draw a card, ideally. I don't know if we want to use the spy camera to see the spy camera again. That doesn't seem particularly strong. I think we'll start with a simul chip because it draws us a card. Okay. Okay. We don't know the top of the deck at all. Unfortunately, we have no way to run in this hand. Yeah, we have no way to run with this hand. Honestly, I think maybe we do something awkward here. Maybe we actually just simul chip to trash the Reaver and see what JNet does, just to gain 2 credits. Oh, then we'll install this first. Yeah, we'll do this just to gain 3 credits, just to see what JNet does. Wait, why can't I do it? Why can't I do this? What am I missing? Why can't I do this? What am I feel like I'm missing something really basic. Why can't I hit the simul chip? Do I have to manually trash it first? That's probably correct, right? I feel like this is probably worth doing. I have to probably manually trash it. I thought it asked you to trash a card when you used this if it didn't hit the trigger. Whatever, I'll draw ones. Ah, fermenter, that's okay. I guess you want to reinstall the Reaver? Yeah. Or now we have options where we can trash the fermenter, draw a card, and then reinstall it with the simul chip. Like that's probably better because then the Reaver will trigger on their turn. But we're going to get a Reaver trigger on their turn anyway with spy camera. Any legal targets in trash? No. Oh, that's why. You need a legal target, right? I forgot about that. They could score out here. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a seamless launch. We know they just drew Rashida, which is something they probably want to get into the remote server. Man, it is such a fight to get this engine singing, but once you do, and you enter that like late game doom state, I feel like I should put the camera here a bit more. Is it correct rule of the game or JNet bug? No, that's a correct rule of the game. Yeah, that's Rashida. We're gonna have to deal with that. If it's a spin doctor, oh, double advance. Okay. Well, we've seen NGO fronts. Double advance, like if they score at 5-3, I think we're okay with it. Order does not matter. Red level clearance. Okay. Let's trigger it. It's a mad dash. Damn it. Events. They get you every time. Okay, so we're gonna run and install the spy camera. Oh no, we want to install something that actually costs a credit. I feel like we still don't need the back. Prognostic. Oh, no, hold on. Undo click. We want to install first to draw first because we know the top card of the deck. This is actually very important ordering. So we'll run server 5, and then we're going to do masterwork first to pay 1 credit to install the flip switch so that we draw 1, and now we can see the top 2 cards, and they're unknown. Perfect. So we have an SMC off the top, which is one of our easiest triggers to fire, and a spy camera, which is really good. So we can prognostic that pretty easily. So this is Rashida. Yeah. Why did we draw a card? Oh my God. Right. I totally forgot about that interaction. This is an installed card. It doesn't have to be your card. Oh, we've been playing Shapers too much. I don't like interact with the board state. That is super cool. Okay. Do we ever run this remote server? This we crack for 5 credits. Sorry, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 credits. We still don't have a boomerang. We know the top deck is a hardware that we want to install in their turn. So we also don't have tech traders. I think we probably just install the SMC here, which seems to give us a cloth threat. I don't know if they're going to respect it. At this point too, like we could install the spy camera. I think that's fine. And I don't know if we run archives, we could just SMC to install an econ card. I think that's probably fine. We got our Reaver trigger this turn, but we can SMC to install our Penny Shaver and then run archives. It would actually cost us 0 credits, but we probably just want to do that on their turn. Like this is one of the cool triggers we have with Reaver. So I'm going to just click for credit, which seems perverse with this deck. Like I don't think you should be clicking for credits. It might have been better to draw there, but I just have an easy prognostic Q-Loop trigger. So the rule kind of asks for a target of mid resolution. You kind of change it. Yes, exactly. Like Basically, there's no legal target to do the simul chip, so you can't trigger the simul chip. There's no program in your heap, so you can't trash to install a program from your heap. So a lot of the abilities will check that it's a legal target before they actually do anything. Now, if there's at least one card, then we could trash our fermenter to install. All right, wow. It is a food. That's fine. That's totally fine. And they're going to gain 2 credits. So they're in 13. We want to smash HQ, so hopefully we hit a boomerang soon. We'll wait for them to discard down. We will spy camera the top of the deck, and then we will prognostic to install the spy camera from the top of this deck. This deck is really cool. Okay. We have a mad dash if we see an agenda here, which if they're on food, like we definitely want mad dash. It's another red level clearance. Okay. We'll use prognostic. We'll pay. Why is that a bankroll? Oh, because we drew the spy camera. Oh. Oh, the ordering. Oh, fuck. So we're not going to get a card draw on our turn because we drew first because of Reaver. We played a whole game without Reaver and we got everything under control. Now Reaver shows up and we don't understand anything about anything anymore. So do we want to trash something on their turn to draw a card? Sorry, we've already done that. Can we install hardware? No. All right. This is our life. We know the top of the deck. We want to get into HQ. We don't have a Begalter. We can SMC for a Begalter. That will cost us 5 credits up front. Will be returned 3. So nearly possible. I think we can just run archives here. Yes. We'll do Masterwork first. Yeah. I guess. Well, we want to actually install something that costs a credit. Bankroll until Lucky Charm. Okay. Breach server. Get a bankroll credit. We see 3 cards. We see like a CVS and some other nonsense. Oh, Managarm, Drafter, and a tier. Okay. So assuming it's a Managarm in the remote server, but it also could be an Anoetic. Luckily, we have a Lucky Charm. On top of our deck is no ability to find a breaker. We can crack this for 5 credits. So I think we actually want to consider doing that. I think we like just simul chip and just like keep bankrolling over and over again. Just to get like a lot of credits so that we can run HQ this turn. And then consider running server 3. Oh, ugly. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. So what we want to do is we pop this, we gain 5 credits clicklessly. Then we can pop our self-modifying code so that we can get down our Begalter. So we can run HQ as long as we have 4 credits for 2 credits. I think their access is important. I'm going to do that. This also draws a card. Now we know the top card of our deck is something. I forgot. Do we want to put the technical writer down? I think we do. So we'll pop this for the Begalter, which comes in. So we have 4 credits, which is enough for this. I think we'll do that. We can't really afford it unless we pop something. That's fine. Assume a tier on the remote. If a tier's on the remote, it's fine. If they res like for 12 or 14, we can just flip switch it. But I don't think so. I think they threw at the 1 tier. A gank tier is actually potentially awkward, but again, flip switch, we don't have to respect anything. Man, the sequencing is so ridiculous, and we're never getting the proper sequencing. Biotic labor, that's scary. Okay, at this point, I think we do just install the bankroll because it is an absurd amount of value, especially when we clicklessly can just click it for 3 credits and a card draw on their turn. Or we can install a spy camera, which we can pop on their turn as well. That seems a bit better. We've already installed our hardware this turn. Yeah, that's fine. Do we know the top of the deck? No, because we just shuffled, but I think we're going to hit the spy camera and then we'll trigger the prognostic Q loop. We're looking for boomerangs for HQ, and then if we have a boomerang on HQ, we can consider running server 3. We will probably have to get down our Mockler, and if we hit a gatekeeper, we can always flip switch. That's a red level clearance off top of the deck. We're just struggling to get our engine going, but they are not pushing it fast enough. We'll see. They can always just like biotic out a luminal and it'll be a pretty big deal for us. Because we want to run HQ before we run the remote server so that we can either deal with the border control or we can deal with an Anoetic or Managarm. Double advance. Okay. Discard a card. We haven't seen agenda off the top of the deck yet. We've gone through... This is our final spy camera, unfortunately. So we have to consider the back. We don't have to respect anything. So rude. Oh. Hey, flip switch is a hell of a card. Top of the deck is a draw card. It's a food. Wow. Okay. Well, that changes everything. Now, luckily, we have access from Simulchip for self-modifying code. So I think we just pop the fermenter here. I think we just pop the fermenter and then we mad dash R&D. And then we have a chance of winning. Yeah, SMC seems really, really good. Oh, if it's actually, if it's a barrier, it's a problem. Hold on, wait. If it's a barrier, it's straight up a problem. We do have to respect the barrier, unless it's like 3 and 15 off the top, 1 and 5 off the top for boomerang. But we'll just put that in the mock clear, like we can afford it. Excuse. So we'll do the prognostic first. No, we don't have any hardware to install. We'll do the prognostic first, yeah. Boomerang? Sports hopper into prognostic. Okay, we'll install the sports hopper. We don't have to do it now. But again, if we install the sports hopper, it's 3 credits to get it down, and then we pop it for 3 credits. Yeah, we need the mock layer. I forgot about the mock layer. And if we need to get a decoder, we can. We've already popped something, so Simulchip installs our self-modifying code. Gaining 3 credits, we pop the self-modifying code for 1 credit. Breach server. So that's a food, which means we are on 3 agenda points. Well, 4 agenda points, which is not game point, actually. Mad dash wasn't entirely necessary. And they drew 2. Okay. I think we run HQ here because they just drew 2. We could consider running the remote server, honestly. That's actually probably fine as well. Yeah, I think we run the remote server. We have 2 for this. We have our breaker down. Managarm will pay the money. And again, we can clicklessly get money from Simulchip. This could be an NGO front. Install hardware. If we install this, we draw our sports hopper. I forgot what was underneath the sports hopper, so I'm not going to do that. But this is obviously very relevant. Oh, there you go. There's the tier, which is fine, unless that's an NGO front. And even then, it's fine. So yeah, good call on the tier there. Gain 3 credits. End the run. Nice. Got him. 10 credits rest. Easy. Now they're on 0 credits. It is an NGO front. Okay, fantastic. How do we deal with the tier? I think generally we will just trash install runner card and boomerang through it. And that is our deal. Yeah, the DECKLISTS actually probably would be worth installing there. It's probably worth installing. We didn't install a hardware. It would draw our sports hopper, which is a bit awkward. At this point, we need the back down. We do need the back. But we're gonna prognostic to get down the hopper, and we're gonna fire it so that we trash something on their turn. So we'll draw 4. Oh man, wait, this deck is amazing. I'm really into this. I feel like that we can make it a bit less greedy so we don't have like those super awkward early games, but I feel like a lot of the awkward early game is us sequencing and not being aggressive enough with our Q loops. So we're learning. This is actually really good. It's a shame this isn't in startup. When startup, I think you play stealth, right? You play whatever the one is called that gives you a stealth credit. The program, so you can use it to pay for prognostic. Deal with tier, run HQ 4 times. Yeah, eventually, but yeah, you're right. This turn we're probably gonna get their DECKLISTS passed down and run HQ. All right, we're gonna do this. Sports hopper. We're gonna crack it. Tech, reaver, tech. So we're gonna start with 10 cards in hand. We also have a pull up, which is really important. So we do want to run HQ for sure. We have a single flip switch there on 10 credits. So I think boomerangs, there's 3 and 9 at the bottom. That's incredible. So I think we just install a bankroll and run HQ. Oh no, we install the back and run HQ. Yeah, that's fine. We're also going to install pull up, so I think we install the back. We could probably install bankroll, run HQ. Yeah, it's fine. Here we will do probably masterwork first. We want to get our DECKLISTS passed down, which seems important. Lock at the top 2 stack. It's boomerang and Simulchip, so we can always pull out the boomerang if we want to. And we will probably boomerang this because otherwise it is 4 to break. And we can break it for free with the boomerang. I never remember what the second card is. Oh god, this is so good. Boomerang it. Tech trader, reaver, tech trader. We're going to have to discard some cards here. Break. Continue to movement. I don't know why that's there, but that's kind of cool. Continue approach. Man, we're going to throw out some cards, but we can throw out easily the Lucky Charm and the 2 hardware. We could also make another run to install it, but we want to install the polyp for sure. We're just going to use our, sorry, Bugalter. This is cool. I don't know if that's always meant to be there, but I like it. I like showing it there. So we'll see 2 cards here. Giordano Memorial Field. We have enough money to deal with that. But I mean, like, to trash it now, but we always could polyp it, but I don't think we do. The Biotic Labor, we knew that. Shuffle, yes, thank you. We'll install this, so we have to discard some cards. So we obviously don't need a console, we don't need prognostics. Oh, we forgot to use the back. Excuse me. Second card is Clone Chip. Thank you. It's in our hand now, right? Yeah. Yeah, we forgot to use this. It's not automated, which is like, there's very few cards in Netrunner that are not automated, so it's so easy to forget this. I think we should be running R&D pretty consistently. Now we know that there's a Biotic in hand. We don't have another Mad Dash, so we're going to win on 2 agendas if we're going to win. And again, this is 10 credits for a card draw and 10 credits for a card draw and a click. So server 3 is installed. Biotic Labor. Wow, they're going to go down to 0 credits. Well, they're going to end 2 credits. Hopefully it's a Luminal. Oh, it's a Vitruvius. That's not good for them. They just went up to 0 credits. Okay. The top of the deck is unknown. The chance of it being a boomerang is actually pretty high. So we're just going to hit it. It is a boomerang. And they just drew on 2 unknown cards into a hand. So like the chance of them getting punished here is actually really high. Because we're going to go see their hand. And the boomerang is out. Or sorry, the Biotic is out. Is there anything we want to crack here? No, we've already revered. Oh, we haven't revered, excuse me. So I think we just greed it out. I think we put down the Technical Writer. Well, I think we pop a Technical Writer. Either that or we pop this for 5 credits. That's probably better. Nah, I don't think we need to greed this any further. I think we just pop this. And we click Sleep Install. Yeah, we'll pop this, put down this, run HQ, run R&D. Pop this, put down this, run HQ. Yeah, that seems good. Run HQ. We'll do Masterwork first. Piece of hardware will install. I guess the Simul chip is like much more flexible. Why draw 2 there? I wonder. Are they on Audacity? There's a chance actually. You're right. There's a chance they're on Audacity and we could lose to that. That's for sure. Boomerang bankroll. Okay. So the boomerang is not that useful until this runs over. But yeah, we could lose Audacity for sure. And that's why this list had Clot for this sort of meta. The draw 2 also could have just been to hide agendas as well. Because I think we haven't seen Subliminal. They played 3 red level clearances, so they need a Subliminal to be able to score at this turn if they have Audacity. But it's likely they just have agendas in hand and they're trying to bury them. Oh, I'm going to use this. Breach server. Give us an agenda. That's good. Okay, now they can draw 2 again too. Draw 2 is a bit dodgy when we're already access. Oh, it's in there. Ooh, I don't know if they just drew that. I don't know if they just drew that. Wow. But they might have had too many agendas in hand, so they just draw 2 to hide it. I don't know if they're on Audacity. Because I think it's Anoetic. I think they actually are like closer to the PD list with like, you know, ice and defensive upgrades. Yeah, the early game, it was like the NGO fronts are not pushing through. And I feel like that's the second game in a row where like our early game is really slow. And if they don't like really value pushing into it, like then we get up with our engine. Ooh. Yeah, that was the guess on the draw 2 from score. Yeah, so it looks like they had agendas, they were just burying them. And at this point, we are just all gas, no brakes. That was fun. I really like this deck, and it's so obvious every game you play, like you're learning the triggers. This is probably quite difficult to play in person, but that'd be very exciting. Well, no, my pleasure. There's no need to be that self-deprecating. I don't think there was any fumbles there. That is really cool. I gotta play more of this. I would be like so interested to see whether this can get tuned to be different. Like the flip switches are obviously very good for the tag matchups and for the big ice matchups. And we got 2 big mice matchups in a row. We even thought ganked would be a possibility. And like this card is probably just good enough because it's, you know, install for free, draw a card. It's not a card I'm excited about, but like it's probably fine. It's probably just fine. I'd be interested whether we could just play somehow like a single copy of what's it called? Like a turning wheel. Something like that. I do feel like we're not aggressive enough with our simul chips, and you can use them, especially if you have Reaver, just to like, you know, trade a bankroll for a bankroll, stuff like that. Like you crack this, then reinstall it. Like that's obviously very good. But by the time that the simul chips feel really good to us, it's about the time that I think we're already set up, right? What is shellacking? I wouldn't call it that. The deck used to run Game Changer. Oh, no way. That's really cool. The Giordano's make sense. I think I said before, but Q-Loop is my favorite Ashes card. So good for setup engines, any sort of click compression really. And there's so many neat interactions. I feel like I totally agree with you. I think we've seen this in lists that run like, you know, recurring credits, like the bad publicity credits. Obviously, As is very good. Bad publicity works a lot too. I'm always terrified to hit this, but like you just have to like build an engine enough where hitting this is not bad for you. And I think there's been so many decks of the week where that plays prognostic Q-Loop, and I get it. And we're already struggling to have a robust economy, and so then I never want to hit this button. But I don't think we've played any deck so far that's run, you know, like 28 hardware. It's always just like, yeah, we have like 9 hardware and like 9 programs, so like, you know, go for it. But it's like, why do I want to install my paperclip for 5? I don't. This is so much cooler. Anywho, Owen, good game by the way. Thanks for the game. That is going to be it for this week. We should be back next week. I'm not gonna even say Pat's there. If Pat's there, that'd be nice. It would be cool. But it's gonna be our final stream before the Christmas holidays. We're gonna miss a week after that. Again, there is some events going on, not this weekend so much, but the next weekend. Again, Nisei is at PAX Unplugged this weekend. If you're in Philly, you want to drop by, you can actually pick up stuff. I think they're selling cards there too, which is really nice. I wonder if they have like alt arts and other fun stuff. But they've announced the Random Access Memories format tournament, which sounds really cool, on the 18th. It's free to enter, so don't hesitate. It's a really cool format. And here in Montreal on the 19th, if you want to come play some startup at an organized play startup tournament at Silver Goblin, it'll be the 19th. I believe it's starting at around noon 30. Maybe I'll be able to show you a link at some point. You can find it on Facebook. If you search Facebook, Montreal Netrunner, there should be a group. You should find it. Or contact Silver Goblin. They'll let you know. But that should be it. I gotta make a thumbnail for this and a thumbnail for last week as well. I have a better idea what this is gonna be. Dan just posted a picture of the booth on General and Slack. It has their stock and prices in the picture. Vale, do you have a link to that? It's in Slack. I'm not gonna be able to get to that quickly enough. But yeah, I know Danby is there running the booth, which is really cool. So shout outs. I think there's also like there's a tournament at PAX Unplugged, right? Right? Pretty sure. Yeah. And it's like it has a fun title. Boss Wash East Coast Champion. I wonder how many people are out there playing. Again, organized play is so cool to see it back in person. This person looks like Pat. It's not Pat, is it? No, it's not Pat, I don't think. Anywho, that's going to be it. We'll be back in a week. Huge shout outs to everyone who is hanging out in chat. Everybody who is watching the VOD, hopefully you're doing well as well. And everyone who played games against good games this evening. We'll be back in a week. Take care of yourselves. Ciao.